Pushing around the corner. Interesting that Sentinels decide to actually play the lower end of this map. Usually try to play the high ground and go from there, but not the case here. Terra goes for an immediate ultimate here. Can he find a reset? Trying to find it. He gets one. Oh, no. Oh, no. Sentinel needs to back up. You need to back out. Oh, my gosh. All right, everyone, welcome to the big one. $250,000 on the line for this tournament. First place, 70,000 buckaroonies. These teams are already going to China at the end of July, it seems like. We don't have official dates, but they are going to be playing at the LAN and representing America. But this is the best of the best according to this tournament. We will be having a best of 7 between Sentinels and 100 Thieves, and these two have already faced off. And in the past, 100 Thieves usually got the better end of Sentinels, but yesterday, in the winter finals, Sentinels won 3-2, which was a banger of a match. I think I'm going to cast that one later on because I was actually too busy and I didn't get to actually cast it. So if you want to see it, of course, let me know in the comments below, as this will be on YouTube, and I would be happy to cast it for you guys. Let's go ahead and hop into this. A few things for you to know. Rymazing is kind of similar to Terra and Delana. Rymazing has made a mark for himself in this tournament, and part of it is he's willing to play a lot of different characters, very similar to Terra, and one of the main features is Iron Man. He's brought that out a few times in these series, and it's really weird because I ain't fully sold on the character, but there are moments where Rymazing will send like 3 to 4 ultimates from Iron Man, and there will be one that is just so clutch and so impactful that it's like, all right, maybe he is legitimate. it's a really crazy mix, but we won't be seeing it today. If you look over to the bans on the bottom, 100 Thieves has already banned out Psylocke and Iron Man, which is going to prevent Rymazing from playing that. So we'll see him on other characters. Most likely going to be Punisher this match, but we'll get to that later on. As we look over to the other bans for Sentinels, they have banned out Emma Frost, Human Torch, Wolverine, and they are locking in their final one, which is looking like it might be a Groot. And Groot is kind of the wombo combo enabler in this game. If you have a Groot, he has a big massive ult that roots people into the center. They can't use any ultimate steering it, and it makes it really, really difficult for people to get out of it, and you can follow that up with any type of damage. So that will not be occurring here. Let's see. We're going to be moving into Domination, which does mean the res comp is going to be pretty popular. And if you haven't watched any Marvel Rivals, if you're just checking out this one because it is a grand finals, the res comp comes down to this guy over here, Mr. Adam Warlock. Where's my mouse at? Right here in the top right corner. Adam Warlock enables Mantis and Star-Lord to respawn. They have a passive where they can respawn anywhere on the map. They can fly into a different location and whatnot, and they have a nice window where they can come back. So the idea is you just throw bodies at a problem, which is a problem that is pretty nice to solve, as if you look over to 100 Thieves, they have some of the best DPS players in this tournament, and one of those guys is Terra, the other one is Delana. Delana's more hot and cold. He's definitely like a wide receiver 2 in the NFL. Like, he can pop off. If you pick him up on your fantasy team, he might be really strong, and he's pretty much that type of archetype for 100 Thieves. He can pop off sometimes when Terra is focused, but Terra is usually the bread and butter of this team. So, having a few bodies to throw at them and make it a little bit hard for them to be effective and try to whittle down the resources is always a good call, especially on a map like Domination. So here we go. Into Domination, immediately Sentinels is going for an aggressive portal. They're actually reversing the portal here too as well, so they can jump through it and get full control. And what they're trying to do is lock 100 Thieves into their side of the map, right? If you were to split the map in half, they're about 70% all the way through, and 100 Thieves is stuck on the 30%. And the idea is that with your extra HP, you can kite backwards, and if you get a pick here and there, you just respawn and keep up the relentless pressure. Meanwhile, 100 Thieves wants to be really effective with their picks, and they're already being pretty effective. They picked off Crimzo. Now, Crimzo and Techie, who are the front liners here for Sentinels, do not have that respawn mechanic and are going to get picked off, and 100 Thieves comes out kicking butt. My golly. And just so you guys know, that's what happened yesterday in the best of 5 series between Sentinels and 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves came out and 2-0'd cleanly Sentinels. There were a couple of good moments, but overall 100 Thieves were able to get the win. And then Sentinels came back with a reverse sweep and won it all to be able to get in the grand finals. So this is not an indicator of how this match is going to go. If you're buckled up and ready to go, you are in a prime position for this match. Nectar is someone that we will dance around occasionally with. Nectar is going to be the main centerpiece of this composition, and he is the damage dealer. Nectar playing Star-Lord, so he has to be kind of careful and watch out for any pokes coming his way. And the second one will be Karova, excuse me, who is playing the Adam Warlock. Oh my gosh, Terra already setting up for a couple of resets. Throwing down the, again here, if he can kill anyone with a little red bar on it, he'll get another ultimate, but that does not occur. Meanwhile, TTK goes in the top line, goes for a Magneto hit, going straight for Crimzo here on the front line, but thanks to his HP, is able to stay alive. Clobbering time comes out, and Crimzo is effectively going to be wasting his ultimate as 100 Thieves is just cooking through. Now, that Rise, my friends, you just heard, is the respawn mechanic here for Sentinels. They're able to toss it down. The entire team, if they are in range of Adam Warlock, will be able to respawn. So Sentinels is still in this fight, but they need to make a play here relatively soon. 100 Thieves is well in the lead, 66% to 0 on the objective. Now, there is good news. The Sentinels is not able to get onto this objective. This is a best of 3 within a best of 1, right? So 2 of the dominations have to be won by 100 Thieves for them to win. And Sentinels just want to farm up here and try stuff for later. They certainly can. Sentinels moves forward thanks to Star-Lord and his ultimate, which is basically auto-aim. He's able to lock down any targets on him, and if 100 Thieves has no way to handle that, they are going to get melted down, which is what is currently occurring as CTK and Elena fall victim. And usually at this point in pro play, you just want to fall over and die here. You don't want to stagger your deaths. You want to regroup and be able to reassess and go in again. Now, Sentinels wrestle away the objective. They're up to about 20%. They do have a pretty large wall to climb to match out 100 Thieves. But they have the chance here to move on their opponent to try to lock them into a corner. 100 Thieves stepping up here. Here's an Emma Frost ult. Emma Frost, if it connects the diamonds on anybody, they are pulled straight into Emma Frost and are forced to go into the fight. And they were able to do a decent amount of damage, but no pick-off. In fact, Amazing actually gets picked off here for the Sentinels. Terra comes up, finds that Star-Lord. One of the main pivotal pieces here for Sentinels. 100 Thieves stepping up, and Invisible Barrier will go up thanks to Invisible Woman, locking down a corner of healing, and it's reset time. But Techie is able to grab him by the throat, but it's not enough. Oh no! The ultimate goes down, the resets are occurring, but Aramori is way ahead of the pack here. Drops her ultimate, which is going to put down a nice little blue carpet of healing for the entire team and keep the Sentinels alive. They are able to take out Terra. They do lose Amazing in the process, but that's not really the be-all end-all. If they lose Nectar, oh, they do lose Nectar. That's what's going to be really, really painful. Luckily for Nectar, he can come back, but I don't know if he's going to use it here. He might save it for round number 2, and he actually triggered it. He was coming back, so it will be down going into round number 2. 100 Thieves, ground number 1, pretty easily. So we'll be going into the second objective, and one thing that you need to know that is difference between Convergence or Convoy here in Marvel Rivals is that on Domination, it is a best of 3 within one map. I mentioned that earlier. So that means you have to win at 2 out of 3. And the cool thing about it is you do keep your ultimate charges moving in between each round. So if you use any of your passives, like in the instance there we saw Star-Lord use his respawn, it will be on cooldown and counting down going into round number 2. So that is something that we have to note. Poor Nectar actually having a really tough time. If you look over to 100 Thieves, this is actually very typical of this composition. You're going to see one team with a lot of kills and the other team with a lot of deaths. And that's the idea. You're throwing bodies at a problem, right? And at some point, you're hoping just to overwhelm your opponent and then kind of keep that pressure up. It's actually really important for 100 Thieves if they lose 1 or 2 people to reassess and then regroup up and go back in to make sure they're at full power. So, Sentinels currently down by 1 map. They have a chance here to tie it up by taking this map, and they just rush straight on in there. Star-Lord has a great benefit to him that he's a pretty fast character. He has speed boosters thanks to his nice little feet jets, whatever you call them, jetpacks, right? Able to hop in, and then of course his right click is when he does a little flip mechanic. It makes him invulnerable. He gets a complete iframe on it, and it gets an instant reload. So the idea is constant mosquito damage, right? You're just constantly pelting your opponent. Crimzo goes forward and finds a punch on the opposing thing. Vinny does go down, and we're gonna have an ultimate coming out from Magneto. TTK trying to find a pick, but doesn't really get anybody. Invisible Barrier goes up, and this makes it impossible for anyone to get shot here by Nectar. He just kind of has to fire in. It turns off the auto aim, right? A complete hard counter. But Techie turns around and answers back with his own ultimate, trying to pull anybody in, and they do get a couple of picks. TTK and Elena go down, so Sentinels now in the lead heading into map number 2. 100 Thieves will be resetting. They have Terra with his ultimate once again. There are a couple of options to handle this, and it's kind of the rough part about running this type of composition, is that there are 3 supports, and 2 of them have ultimates that can shut down Bucky. But they do find a pick once again on Nectar. He moved forward with the E and goes for a pick. Terra coming around the backside, though, trying to go for some resets. And looks like he can't be able to get on top of that, as Ryan Mazing did a great job of holding on to his ultimate. This is Mantis providing AoE healing and shields to all of our team, so they actually stop the full pressure coming in from Terra. But the rest of 100 Thieves were able to come on in and find a couple of picks. They take out Techie, and Ryan Mazing's gonna have to respawn. The objective control, though, is still in full favor of Sentinels. They're at 42%, taken down. Portal coming in. This is something that Techie's gonna be able to pop into. If he can touch the objective, he would be able to keep the progress bar going, but he was unable to do so, and now 100 Thieves is in full control. Sentinels looking a little rough at the moment. They need to back up and regroup up, and they're doing just that. And their issue, if you look up the top left corner, is they don't really have any ults being built fully. Aramari's going to have hers relatively soon. It will be at 81%. The Nectar will fall up to 60%, but then you're missing your tank ultimates, Crimzo in particular, and Techie. Kind of need those to lock down their targets, especially after a big ult from 100 Thieves, where if you look at 100 Thieves, Vinny's set up, Magneto's set up, and they have Harvey as well. Loki, for you folks that don't really watch this game that much, has one of the fastest ultimate buildings in the game, so you're going to see him spamming that out like crazy. And what he can do is copy anyone on his team or an enemy. It's pretty busted. And he's doing that just now. He Soul Cloak and Dagger's ultimate, which allows him to put a carpet down. He comes in from behind and starts to become a pseudo-assassin. He finds a pick, which is massive here. Kind of a weird disengage there from Korova, to be honest with you. Adam Warlock doesn't have any mobility, so you have to be really heads up on where your opponents are at, but 100 Thieves right now seems to be completely possessed. Just finding their takedowns left and right, and they have taken the lead in the objective control, 62% to 47%, and they have all the tools right now to end this game. Delane's about to have her ultimate, Vinny as well, TTK building up at the same time, and Sentinels will have Star-Lord ultimate, but I don't see a world where he's going to be able to clean everybody up. What they need to wait for is Adam Warlock's ult to come out, which is at 87%. Try to run it down, get a pick or two, respawn, and flood again. We'll see if they can do it, though. Time is starting to run out for them. Nectar pops the ultimate. Starting to go in the back line. Loki will pop the healing runes, which makes all damage impossible. Oh my god! TTK just made an incredible play. He went for the Magneto ultimate and sniped Adam Warlock, which is what makes this entire composition go. Adam Warlock is now going to have to run across the map here. Terra goes up, goes in for a reset, trying to find a target, taking some damage back on his side. Is able to grab on a Techie, but Techie focuses him down. 4 people have been picked for 100 Thieves, and Sentinels, despite losing Adam Warlock, were able to move forward and clear out their opposition. They still have a road to climb here as they're at 50% on the objective control, but they have made the first step into winning. Quick breath here. The thing is, I think Sentinels might have this one here. As long as they can get a good ult off. Like, 100 Thieves has to stop Korova from being able to get a massive ult off. Nectar goes in, spins in a couple of circles, gets out the damage, pulls back to his healers. He's low on HP. Crimzo gets picked because he does not have any escape, and so does Techie. So there's no tanks here. Korova was focused as well, but Korova has the respawn mechanic. It is up and available, so he should be trying to respawn somewhere else here. Spawns do come in, and Korova decides to spawn back home, actually, it looks like. No, he actually was trying to escape, and he was chased down. I wish we'd have seen that on camera, because Korova died again. You can see in the top left corner, which means he doesn't get to use his ultimate. 99%. Sentinels holding with 5, but 6 are coming down. Crimzo trying to provide the shields. There's a fight happening on the back right. Terra does get picked off, and so does Harvey. I think Sentinels might have it. Portal comes down from Delana. They're trying to be able to reinforce. Crimzo coming forward, too, with his own portal. And we're going to have a Strange off here in the front. Healing coming through the portal, but they're going to need some damage here, too. Terra has an ultimate. He's going to jump on through, and he gets destroyed as well, and the portal has been killed off. Sentinels are going to be able to tie up 1-1. Impressive picks there coming in, especially after Korova. Adam Warlock is pretty much the centerpiece of this composition, and if you pick him off, you're in a good spot to pull off the win. But it seems like they may have overextended just a bit too much, and Sentinels were able to clean up. Impressive stuff, really, coming out of Sentinels. Very resilient. So we're going to head in game number 3, and you can see the kills are starting to really come back here for Sentinels. Right? Once you get the objective control, yourself in the front, it's just so hard for the opposing team to get back. Like, Star-Lord in particular is so difficult to lock down. You need to have a couple of headshots, but his ability to iframe, his ability to move away is great. And we haven't even talked about one of the combinations that is really strong on him, which they're not running, which is typically running a Magneto or even a Hulk, where you attempt to drop a shield on top of him when he's dancing around with that E button and putting out damage, and he's basically invulnerable during those 3 seconds, right? That's where he gets a lot of his damage, build up his ultimate. It's a great combination. It requires really good coordination for teams, but these teams are really good at it. Nectar comes around. One thing he'll want to do is probably grab this high ground and start to play from here. This is actually a really good map for Star-Lord because of all this open space and second layers. Good for Loki as well. So ultimate comes out. And at this point, he's just trying to force ultimates from his opposing team, right? And he does. He gets Magneto to pop the ultimate. Magneto's ultimate absorbs all bullets, so it's a great counter. Oh, Delana! Delana has a little bubble that she can put on the ground that will stun lock someone for a call mini stun, and she went in and got the kill on Nectar. Nicely done here. But Techie making a massive play and getting 4 or 5 people stunned into a choke with her ultimate allows for Sentinels to find 2 picks. Delana has respawned. Terra was down as well. SJP gonna pop their ultimate, and the entire goal right now is just don't give any progress bars over. Kurova gets an ultimate, and this is also a great spot for Adam Warlock because of the second layers. He has more nooks and crannies to hide himself. And you see all of Sentinels are back and good to go. Look at that. They haven't fully grabbed the objective. Hunter Thieves are doing a good job of just kind of held back. And look at this, Nectar goes in the back line. Dances around, gets some damage up, goes to the high ground, grabs a health pack, and come back down here later on. Delana in the sky just trying to find a pick, and will find one on Ryan Amazing, but he can respawn thanks to the respawn mechanic here. Part of the Adam Warlock Guardians of the Galaxy composition. Terra out here with massive firepower, just trying to find anybody. Emma Frost has Diamond Skin, which makes 30% of any damage coming her way be nullified, and so she was able to take that up with the help of her healers. TTK finds a snipe on Ryan Amazing, and finally he's officially down for an entire death duration. Nectar has already built up another ultimate. He's kind of hoping for some healing right now. Down to 21 HP. Delana trying to find the shot. Can't quite get it though. A heal comes in at the last second. Nectar continuing to dance back and forth, and oh my gosh, this objective has been under a fight for a good 60 to 90 seconds. This is insane. Wall goes up. Techie trying to grab anybody in there. Nectar will get picked off. Techie does somehow survive, but the objective control finally goes over to Sentinels. My god. What a long fight. Delana has to retreat, and Vinny's going to go ahead and respawn. And Nectar's just doing a really good job of taking a hit or two, but immediately getting behind cover. He knows that 100 Thieves has good DPSs. Like, you don't want to mess around if you take a couple of chips. Playing very, very safe in that regard. Here comes Sarah, trying to chase down Star-Lord. Nice iframes, nice movement. Finally gets him, but man, that was a lot of time wasted. I believe this ultimate goes for an entire of 10 seconds. Technically, it's 8.5 seconds because there is an animation of you transforming into the Punisher. But still, it's a long duration. And he wasted about 5 seconds there, which is great. 5 seconds on one target is pretty massive. Nectar gets picked, but here's Kurova. Once again, on the high ground. Hella taking some shots. Just picking people off. Techie was going to try to run down there and just slow down the objective control, but it finally goes over 100 Thieves. So, with it all said and done, back and forth, ults being burned left and right. Sentinels got 40% on the objective, but 100 Thieves now in position for control. So 100 Thieves, their goal right now, after we have a full idea of what Sentinels is doing, is one, just keep Star-Lord off their team, which they've been doing a pretty solid job for. And then trying to figure out where these ults are going to be. And they've noticed twice now that Kurova has used the ultimates in the top right corner here on this image that we have. So I expect at some point we could see somebody run them down in the future and try to stop that ult. Sentinels trying to grab the objective back. 100 Thieves back away and give him the position. Magneto's been picked off. TTK here was unable to get away from the fight. Vinny also got CC'd in by Techie. And there are 3 ultimates available. Crenzo, Ryan Amazing, and Nectar popped them all. And they just wiped the floor here. 3 picked off, a 4th picked off, and you can kind of see how this big area on this map is so instrumental for Star-Lord. Look at the place he has, all this movement. He's able to jump up to the side, go to the left, there's a lot of cover for him. It's a really hard composition to break. 100 Thieves, however, will have to break it. Doesn't matter how hard it is. This is a tournament for $250,000. Are going to slowly approach once again. Trying to just burn out any respawns coming their way. They do find a snipe on Kurova, so Kurova goes down, but he has his respawn passive. He comes back immediately. It will be down for a decent duration. Star-Lord able to get to his teammates. Terra showing away, but there's a great answer there from Aramori. Aramori puts on the blanket of healing right away. Magneto comes up, trying to find a snipe with someone. He splashes it on the side there, because the splash damage is the same as wherever it canoes. You're just trying to get a couple of members. Amazing goes down, so does Nectar and Aramori and Crimzo. 100 Thieves finds a reset, but Born again comes out! Everyone gets healed up again! What a headache here for 100 Thieves! And they spawn on a health pack too, so that helps out as well. 100 Thieves setting up for defense. They do have two ultimates. They have SJP and they have Vinny. Vinny can charge forward in clobber in time, knock them all up and stun them, and that'll allow for his DPSs to burn them down. Ultimate coming out from Mantis. This gives speed and healing and shield, so they step up. Vinny goes for the clobber in time though to lock him down, trying to go for a punch here on Mantis, but the healing is just a bit too much. He has to pull away and get healed up himself. Aramari runs for the back line here and should be able to start going for an assassin. Massive ultimate from Techie, locking in 4 members for 100 Thieves, and now with Vinny and Techie, or TTK, being the only 2 left over, 100 Thieves are going to have to forfeit this objective because they have no one to stand on it, and the Sentinels are going to be able to grab the objective. Now, Terra switch over to Dr. Strange. They're going to try and portal in, but it's got to be quick. It's got to be super fast. Can he do it? He's putting it up. They got to dash in and jump through when they get overtime. Just barely. 100 Thieves trying to go through. Sentinels are going to try and just hold that point. Techie finds a kill on Delana. Delana gets picked, and Nectar goes above and starts shooting down. Now, Harvey did have an ultimate, so it's going to help negate this entire pressure coming in. And luckily, 100 Thieves were able to break on through. Crimzo did fall. And TTK is able to keep poking away. Loki gets picked here for 100 Thieves, so they have lost one of their healers. It's a 5v5 right now. Techie trying to find another. A perfect kick into the corner, getting extra damage. We'll find them 2 more kills. Vinny, however, with a huge clobbering time, finds 2 picks. They can respawn, though. He's trying to pick off this tank here in the front line, but the healing might be too much. And Crimzo comes in with a teleport himself. This overtime is going to be so long here. And Techie with another beautiful ultimate on Emma Frost, showing why she's always banned out for a lot of teams here in America. That ultimate is just so darn powerful. It shuts down so much space. Delana on the way with the ultimate, and it's just not enough. Sentinels are going to grab round number 1 with a 2-1 victory in Domination, and we're going to head into round number 2. Can this get off my screen? Excuse me? There we go. And welcome back to game number 2. Sentinels setting up for our second round. Now, we are moving to Convoy, and something that I do feel is probably an objective truth here. I don't have the stats to back it up, but, you know, I just know everything. He said jokingly. Adam Warlock composition isn't as strong on Convoy maps compared to Domination, being able to carry your respawn timings, and I went and looked. It looks like a respawn timing on both Mantis, Adam Warlock, and Star-Lord is 105 seconds. So, that is something to consider. A little under 2 minutes for that cooldown to pop up for all 3 of those. And Domination is naturally a longer game mode because of the overtime, the best of 3, going through different rounds. Convoy, you kind of have to be very, very clutch in certain moments, and I don't know if an Adam Warlock composition will be as strong. In fact, I only think it's only as good on defense. What do you want to try and keep tempo up on defense, right? But it is something to consider, and one thing to look at. A lot of people are like, wow, why is triple spawn in this game or whatever? And yeah, it can be an annoying composition, but that's why we have a ban phase. Like any other MOBA, hero shooter, etc. When you find compositions that are a bit too strong and you don't have an answer for them, you do have 4 bans to try and target them. And all you have to do is use 1 ban on Adam Warlock, and that composition is nipped in the butt, right? Manta's still pretty strong and can be around. She's starting to become more of a character that can fit in other compositions, but the point is it can be dealt with, and we might see it. And if you look at this setup already, 100 Thieves, not thinking that it's a thing they have to worry about for this map, they don't even look towards banning it out. Now, Nectar immediately locks in the Star-Lord, and if Sentinels is able to pull this off on this map as well, I do think 100 Thieves will start looking at a ban for it. Remember, this is a best-of-7 series, so they do have a couple of rounds to feel out their opponents and see if they can lock in this composition. This isn't like it's a blindside, right? Sentinels just has really smart players on key characters for this composition and are utilizing it completely, right? Where if you look over to 100 Thieves, they do, of course, have smart players. They're pros. They're the top of the top. But they're more of a kill everything and we win type of team, right? And if you can't get everything down, you're going to struggle. So we'll see how it goes. Looking over into the numbers, the bias for having one team win continues to ring true. Sentinels have a 61% vote, whereas 100 Thieves has 39% voting for them. Now, Convoy is your typical payload mount. For those that haven't seen Marvel Rivals, I have no idea if someone new is me checking this out or if they're just watching it because I'm casting it. But essentially, you take a payload and you need to get through 3 essential points, and you can score a maximum of 3. If both teams do it, you go to overtime. Simple, easy. Here we go. 100 Thieves will be the aggressors here. And if you look over Sentinels, they are playing the Adam Warlock composition on defense. Nectar goes down immediately. Great pickoff from them. And one thing about StarLord too is like there are flyers in this game, but StarLord can be kind of annoying against flyers. He can jump up, pop his E, spin around in circles, and get some damage on them. And if a stray bullet from another teammate comes in, you can really take out the flyers pretty quickly. So that's why you're not seeing any here from 100 Thieves. Also, they seem to really enjoy playing their hit scan characters a lot more than more other teams. Terra comes in for a combo, finds their first pick. There's 1, there's 2, and this is where Bucky can be really, really strong in an open area. But 100 Thieves overstep slightly, and Sentinels are able to find some CC and knock them out and get that respawn in right again. Right, Amazing losing out on his rebate mechanic, so it will be down for 105 seconds. Nectar's is down right now, and I don't know if I saw Caravara get picked off or not. But I believe there's only 1 more respawn available for them for a good duration. 100 Thieves resetting up on their way in. Start to work the front line. There is a portal coming in from Techie. They want to make sure that they have the full front line under control. Nectar goes for the back line, gets out some decent damage. Hela goes up on the sky, starts burning out the back line. Snipes for Amazing as well as Aramori, but Korova is able to get the Born again around on the corner. So everyone is going to be able to respawn here, but now they are out of resources. This is where this composition can feel a little bit on the weaker side. Every death can really hamper them. Nectar comes up around the side, builds up his ultimate. TTK with a beautiful snipe on Aramori as she was using Cloak and Dagger. She's stuck in going a certain direction, and TTK can preemptively understand where it's going to be and land the shot, and he nails that perfectly. Nectar comes up the back line, straight and go for SJP, but Loki's able to heal him up, the two of them working in tandem together. Nectar continuing the pressure, but Vanny with him leading the charge here on the front line, starting to find a couple of picks. Nectar down, Techie down, now Crimzo, and 100 Thieves has beaten the big bad comp. Ooh, we're about to find out actually if Caravara has died yet. No, he has not. You can see how it's blacked out, there's no number on it. That means he has his respawn mechanic. He cancels it though. He's gonna wait for it later on. You can cancel it with a right click and save it for another time. You don't have to use it right away. 100 Thieves gets around the corner and they're sitting pretty. They have 4 minutes right now to push up on the second objective. Every time that you get through a point, you get 90 seconds added on to the timer. Nice shots here from Terra. Just shipping. One cool thing about Bucky is that his shots actually pierce, and so they're using that to full fruition. Right, Amazing gets picked off. Crimzo comes around the corner trying to land some diamonds here. Almost builds one up, but 100 Thieves does a great job of playing the line of sight, and here's the Terra show once again. Media gets popped up, but thanks to his teammate here, he's able to pop shields up and move forward SJP with a perfect ultimate, which allows for the team to wipe everybody, and Sentinels are getting cleaned quickly. You can see how different the dynamic is. There isn't a lot of places to hide. There's a certain area where the convoy is that's constantly pushing forward. There are portions of engagement that you can't just ignore and run into a corner and then respawn, right? So you can see how like different compositions feel different on different parts of the map or different objective types, right? Nectar going the back line. Magneto answers it. Goes up in the sky. Nice shot there. He actually aimed for the choke in case anybody was moving forward. But 100 Thieves wisely backs away and waits for Nectar to finish off his ult. Delana, however, did get picked on the back line, so 100 Thieves will have to slowly back away. They are a bit far from the objective, and this is where that triple support can feel really, really strong. Oh my gosh, except if Nectar goes in and gets picked off. A bit too aggressive there, if you ask me. They were slowly pushing 100 Thieves away, but he should be able to reinforce pretty quickly. Amazing gets picked one more time. We'll see if he intends to try and come for the respawn. Terra starting to kite on through. 1, 2 down, and he finds the respawns here. But Sentinels is doing a really good job. Typically, if you have Terra come in on the Bucky ult and attempt to hit it on targets that are respawning, you can wipe them. But they're always saving one major support ult to put underneath that and blanket and nullify Terra's objective of resetting. And there we had Aramori with a perfect Cloak and Dagger ult. Just a great layering of solving this puzzle, right? Massive ultimate from Crimzo, though, hitting a perfect clobbering time. But thanks to SJP, 100 Thieves will be able to get through that thanks to the heal. And here's Terra with another ultimate. I can't believe there's another one. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That terrifying five-letter word right there. Again. And it just goes to show the pressure Bucky can put on your team composition if you don't have a tool to handle it. It took 3 attempts, but the moment you break the seal on the entire composition for Sentinels is when they just falter and fall apart. 100 Thieves currently in the driver's seat as they're moving forward for the 3rd objective. They're up 2-0 right now and looking to grab their 3rd point. They have to get around this bank and then around one more bank to win. Sentinels setting up for defense. Techie already down. Crimzo taking some DB damage as well, and Terra takes him down. Aramari will be able to slow down this push with the ultimate. Oh my god, but TTK is just nailing these meatballs right now. I want this guy to make me spaghetti. I want spaghetti and meatballs from TTK because he will hit that shit right in my mouth and I'm gonna love it. TTK is cooking. Sentinels are forced to play defense, but you can see that they're getting into a point where they might be stuck in a choke. 100 Thieves moving forward. Want to get some pre-fire shots on them, make them force some utilities. Here comes Nectar. Aiming for the back line, but Loki easily handles that. The runes get cleaned up, but as they group up, they're trying to get in the way of Nectar's shots that are auto-aim. Well done so far. SJP dropping down the invisible barrier, and here comes Terra. He gets locked down by Techie, which is going to buy some time and actually prevent the ultimate from being reset. You only have a certain amount of time to get that reset, and it was missed. Terra will have to reassess. Harvey comes in with an ultimate. He actually stole it from SJP. That's why you see 2 invisible barriers here. Clobbering time coming in from Vinny. Vinny locking down a few. Born Again coming in for Karava. He might actually switch off the Adam Warlock now. We'll see. After he uses his ultimate. Sentinel's running out of space, though. They just have no space. And 100 Thieves just in the front line delivering punches. Look at this. Delena in a great spot, poking from afar. Nectar on the back, but eats a decent amount of damage here. Runs over his teammates just in time to get a little bit of healing. And Sentinels are holding on, but another pick comes in. Kurova can respawn, and so can Nectar. So can Rye Amazing. Crimson goes forward to try and buy time. Nectar is now back. Techie with the ultimate. Magneto able to go for a pop here. Was looking for a possible kill on the front line. Crimzo finally goes down. So does Nectar, Aramari, and it should be more from here. It's currently a 5v3. Rye Amazing, a pretty good character, but he's only playing a Mantis right here. It's not going to just one-shot everybody, right? It's not what he does. And 100 Thieves will be able to march forward and get a total of 3 points to 0. Sentinels do burn a lot of time there. There is 11 seconds left, which means if we go to overtime, it will be 1 minute and 11 seconds for 100 Thieves to try and get a win. But Sentinels has to be able to score 3 points for that to happen. Now, I don't think they're going to stay on this composition for offense. My god, they are. They really believe in the respawn mechanic. They are locking it in. Now, you see Rocket Raccoon here. He's just here to throw down a couple of armor packs on his team. Aramori should switch up after that. I don't see a world where they stick with it. Although, if they do stick with it, it will be really fitting into the theme of throwing a ton of buys is a problem. As Rocket Raccoon does have one respawn mechanic, which he can put down on the field, and it will respawn one of your teammates for free.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
But we'll see how that goes. Now, Techie has made an adjustment. He has switched over to Venom. Ooh, are we getting the magic? So one thing that happens a lot on this map is there is a composition that is 3 Vanguards and 3 supports, and Rye Amazing believes that Magic is a character that can counter that composition. And he did showcase that yesterday. in one of the matches. But looks like at the last second he switches back to the other comp. So yes, they go back to the respawn mechanic. They are sticking with it, man. They really believe in it. Part of me kind of hopes that 100 Thieves just shuts this down. But it is kind of cool to see two different styles clashing, you know? DPS outplayers to people with just multiple lives, multiple health bars, throwing themselves at a problem over and over again. Korova gets shot. Down. So he'll use his respawn right away. But we do know that Korova does not have a respawn right now. 105 seconds. Nectar playing the wide angle here, trying to build up his ultimate. Already at 60%. Every time he takes a lethal shot, he just backs away. That's his whole job. Ooh! Gets shot though by Delana. Delana stuck around and went for it. Okay, so Terra's trying to look for a reset. After they find a pick, they just want to try and just get in there as quickly as they can. Take anybody out. They don't care who. 2 are down for 100 Thieves, though. And 100 Thieves is backing up fully in. Nectar wants to chase. He knows they're low. He also has an ultimate. Oh my god, he's just chasing it down. Needs some healing. There we go. And they grab the point. 5 minutes on the clock. More time than what 100 Thieves had last time. Hunter Thieves is fully resetting. They do have a couple of ultimates coming up here soon. They're probably waiting for Nectar to pop his ultimate, and then TTK will begin his ultimate, go for a snipe, and that's probably when they're going to try and reset. Here we go. There it is. Magneto ultimate. Just tosses it at Doctor Strange. Not much he can really do. You have to pop the ultimate. Magneto has a weird mechanic that if he over grabs too many bullets, the entire ultimate disappears. So he has to toss it early. Massive ult from Techie. Jeez, dude. He is just owning that choke. And Simba Frost is starting to become a major problem. Not gonna lie to you. These ultimates have been so disrupted. 100 Thieves will lose Harvey. SJP has an ultimate down, but they're about to run out of supports at the moment. They're gonna have to back away and run into a corner, it looks like. Delana goes up in the sky, just trying to get a snipe on anybody. She does find Aramori. So Aramori will be on the way back. Crimzo's putting down an ultimate. He might try to lock them into a corner. And Sentinels grabs point number 2. Did the portal go down? Let's look. Yeah, so he took the portal and blocked off their exits, making it hard for them to get out, and that left a total of 20 seconds. Although I think he may have had a slight hole. He may have messed it up. Because we do see people coming out for 100 Thieves. Which is going to give 100 Thieves a chance here to defend. They get on through. They got to get to this choke, though. Man, that's a massive choke. Ultimate comes in for Crimzo to lock down the front line, and they're trying to buy space for this. The objective is get this payload to that door. They don't do enough. Captain America is here for Vinny. Terra goes up, looking for some resets. Can you shut this down? 1, 2, potentially a third, potentially a fourth. Oh my gosh, she's eating. Great resets. Great resets. So legitimately, Crimzo messing up that portal is going to cost this point here for Sentinels. That would have been free if he did it correctly. And it just goes to show that at pro play, a meter, an inch, something being slightly off can be enough for an opposing team to shut you down. Now, 100 Thieves still has to defend for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. They step up on this front wall, and the goal is to poke their opponent, force them to use ultimates and back away. Magneto gets an ult, tosses it out. It's defended perfectly. Nectar about to lose out on his ult. There it is. Now, what's been the real killer is Techie. Techie comes around afterward and ults, and there it is once again. It's a 1-2 punch. But 100 Thieves has caught on to this. Harvey saved his ultimate, and he's able to dash through and save his entire team. Aramari doing the same, though. Going for the back line. Nectar has 6 seconds before he can spin to win to do some damage. Backs away, and Terra with another reset composition, starting to kite backwards. Looking for a possible kill. Can't quite get it, though, because of SJP. Great ultimate by him. Elena is down. Nectar is pretty far back right now because Kurova and Amazing are getting cleaned up. Terra is just chasing right now. That hook mechanic really helping him out. He wants the full kill. He's trying to get it. Can he get it? Ooh, not quite getting the kill. Our Amari, though, does get picked off. But 100 Thieves did their job. They used a lot of ultimates into their resets. That's the only problem I have with that fight, is they did burn everything. Terra is about to build up another ultimate, which is nice, but look over at Sentinels. They have Crimzo and Kurova that have their ultimates, and they have more lingering right behind. Crimzo should be able to get in here with a pretty big ult and force the issue. And then if nothing goes well, Kurova can ult, and that will be the onslaught that we've seen, the res comp, over and over again. Nectar chasing down Delana. And to be fair to Lena, that's a really hard shot to hit. A one-on-one against StarLord when he's on you is so difficult. Delana down for 3 seconds. Terra has an ultimate. Goes in, finds a pick. One is now down. Born again occurring right behind him. Going for a couple of resets. There's 2. There's 3. But remember, Kurova is just respawning them right now. There's going to be one more push coming in. He's saving his ult for the last second. He's going to try and go for it. Here it is. Buying time, buying time. Goes for it and marks the front line. Backs away. Eye of Agamotto comes in, locking down everybody on the side of 100 Thieves. Sentinels moving forward with Amazing on the ult, and Nectar is able to spin and bring that damage in. And here's that final blow as Techie's trying to lock him in. He gets 4 people locked in, but Captain America counter-ulted. What Captain America does is provide a shield for everybody nearby. He stood in front of it, ate the diamond, and everyone behind him got shields, so they were able to live through Techie's ult. What a great adjustment by Vinny. SJP drops down the ultimate as well, and 100 Thieves look like they may have held. Sentinels trying to break on through. Amari pops an ultimate, but people are dying like flies left and right. Vinny pounces the back line, takes out Koravora. He is now down. He can respawn, but all there is left is a StarLord in the overtime. It's going to take down, and 100 Thieves are able to pull off the win. We are tied up 1-1. Welcome back to game number 3. We are all tied up in this best of 7 series right now. 100 Thieves taking on Sentinels, and the res comp was beaten in game number 2. We will be heading to Convergence, which is a combination of both Domination and Convoy. So there is room for this competition to be played once again. We'll see if they hover it. It does kind of feel like Sentinels is like, hey, we're going to run this comp every game. You guys need to decide if you want to deal with it or not. And so far, 100 Thieves has not bitten. Instead, they actually banned out the Captain America. Which, to be quite frank, I think 100 Thieves might be onto something. For those that may have missed it, Vinny in the actual stats tabs afterwards had 53 takedowns on Captain America and 3 deaths and 15 assists. It was wild. And I know I yelled once about his ultimate, but his ultimate usage was so clever there. Just to give you a quick recap, whenever you're playing Captain America and you yell Avengers Assemble, he drops his ultimate and he has like a little flag behind him, and anyone that is touching the flag gets shields built up on them. So he wound up just literally frontlining for his team anytime massive AoE damage was coming in from Emma Frost, and provided the opposing team, provided his teammates enough shields to get through their ultimate. It was such a great adjustment. Vinny played so well, and he wants to avoid that on this map. And this map in particular, Captain America is very strong because he can jump behind the enemy lines, and there's so many health packs that he can run between them due to his speed, and it's really hard for the opposing team to do anything about it, right? And they don't want to deal with it, so they ban it out. And they actually decide to ban out Mantis. So Mantis has been one of the main characters that a lot of teams will focus on to get rid of Adam Warlock composition. Now, they can still play Adam Warlock in StarLord, but Mantis brings it together because she gives a flower to her teammates that buff them up, and also healing over time, right? Also, she's really strong in terms of her attack. She's actually kind of like a pseudo-assassin because of her primary attack being so strong. If you hit headshots, you get more flowers, right? So they take out that. Because there are other ways to play Mantis in different compositions too. Like, Mantis is great with an Ultron, for instance. An Ultron is a flyer that if he gets damage-ification, he can kind of burn down someone. You build that with an assassin, and you kind of take them out. So you get rid of Mantis, and you get 2 for 1 by taking out other compositions. So that's what's happening here. Captain America ban, Mantis ban, and now we're not going to be having the respawn composition, most likely. Still playable, but not as strong. You can kind of see how the tides are changing right now. Now we're getting a little bit closer to what I would expect in a legitimate vote off of who would win. Sentinels have 55% chance, according to the public opinion, and a 45% chance here for 100 Thieves. Now, into the map we go. As I mentioned, it is a combination of Domination and Convoy. The first point is the Domination. You want to grab the objective control, and then you'll get a Convoy afterwards that you need to lead to the end and try to get your points. Techie has moved over to Venom for Sentinels, and Amazing has pulled out his signature hero, which is Iron Man. Now, Iron Man is a bit rare for a lot of teams. You have to play incredibly well on him. Whenever he uses his laser beam, which is the majority of his DPS, he kind of just floats in the middle. And so against flyers, it's an easy pickoff, right? But Amazing is incredibly aggressive and knows how to pull a lot of HP his way, and he isn't afraid to get up close to get his ultimate, which is his other big drawback. His ultimate has a slow travel time, but one of the ways he can deal with that is by getting up close and hitting the ground right in front of you. So let's see how Amazing does this. Common counters to that as well is Bucky, Punisher, and Hela, which are all characters that we've seen for 100 Thieves. Now, this time we have Bucky and Psylocke. And Psylocke is designed to actually work with Vinny here, who's playing Captain America. Captain America will run in, dive on a target, Delana will come afterwards and go for the damage. But here we're looking at Amazing, and see how he like puts himself next to the wall? So he's not line of sighted by the rest of the team, he's able to go into his laser. Positioning is imperative for Amazing on Iron Man, and he's one of the best to do it. Ult comes out, shoots to the ground, and you see how like he goes for an ultimate and instantly dies afterwards? He yells maximum pulse, and everyone's able to look up and just take him out, right? And that's what happened there. And this is why like I struggle with Amazing on Iron Man, because he's incredible on the character, no doubt. But like his weaknesses, you really have to play around them, and somehow Amazing does it. However, he kind of agrees that the Iron Man's not working. He actually switches over to Human Torch, which is objectively probably one of the better flyers in the game right now. So, what Human Torch does is he puts fire on the ground with his right click. You'll see like little fire bubbles. That's a consistent damage that ticks down your opponents, so you have to walk out. If he puts down multiples of them, he can turn it into a fire wall, and anyone inside the middle of the fire wall takes percent damage. Not percent damage, but consistent damage. And then he has a primary shot that is kind of like a shotgun, so he's pretty good at killing tanks and can headshot. He's one of the only flyers that can do it. And then on top of that, he has mobility. But hang on here, Terra tries to move forward and trying to go for some reset potential here. Cannot get it. Crimzo shuts it down. Harvey in trouble as well. Nectar going for the back line, dropping the Psylocke ultimate. Beautiful positioning here, coming out behind the wall in case anyone was chasing him down. TTK steps up for the Emma Frost, trying to go for ultimate and pulling Buddy in. Venom's going to pull in, but he's a pretty girthy target. It's really hard to take him down. Here comes the portal, as 100 Thieves switches over Terra onto Doctor Strange to come on through. Harvey will lead the charge here with his ultimate. And this will give a little bit of space here, but Sentinels wisely pulls away. They realize they have a number advantage, and the portal is going to expire at some point. And after we see SJP's blanket of healing go away, he can step up. Oh, hang on, though. Delana went for a massive ultimate. We missed it. We're watching an amazing ultimate, and this is actually an incredible ultimate. When we put this on the ground, you see the big fire tornadoes. Those are doing 200 damage per second. So you just stop anyone from standing there, right? If they stand on that, they're going to die. People have to back away. 100 Thieves do get cleared up, and Sentinels, with a great push here, are going to take point number 1, and they have 3 minutes on the clock. Amazing is stepping up. They know they just killed a few people already, so they have to reposition, and he wants to try and find someone that's picking off. And he sees Captain America, right? Calling it here. Comes around the back and just looks right at him. He has healing support, so he doesn't mind taking a couple of hits. Just want Vinny to know that he's there. Ooh, look at Techie here. Boom! Big flank. Goes for the back line. Drops the tentacles on people, which will slow them down. Decides to leave, though, because everyone from 100 Thieves turned around. But again, when everyone turns around, it's more time for your payload to move forward. Sentinels getting some aggression here. Psylocke coming out. Nectar on the back line. Loki's able to answer that back there with a heal. A great catch here from TTK. Putting Nectar into the ground, and they're able to kill him off. Terra has a reset. Waiting for it. Comes down. Looks for a Loki clone. Another reset. Tries to go for Venom. Actually hits Magneto, which is a bit harder for him to kill. He might actually get picked off here. Oh my god. Nice shot by Crimzo. Jumping it over the barrier. Gets the hit while healings are flying towards Terra. Amazing trying to play around this middle ground here. which is what you want to do if you're the offensive, right? You want to be up in this top right area. You want to force everyone to a small choke. Vinny's trying to flank behind it, and he's going to do okay here, especially with an ultimate being built up. 100 Thieves should be able to defend this, in theory. They have 4 ultimates and a 5th coming out. TTK starts the ultimate, steps up. Psylocke goes underground here, and this actually nullifies what TTK is doing. And they actually do find a pick on Aramari. Aramari could not pop her ultimate. She got destroyed there. Kurova tried to provide the healing here on Luna Snow. Bit of a slowdown. Couple of changes in ultimates. Yeah, I think I would consider that was a stalemate. While Aramara did go down, it wasn't too big of a deal. Okay, so Torch has his ultimate. He's gonna try and pin everyone in the corner there with a couple of tornadoes. There we go. And you can kind of see how stressful they are, right? He's dropping whatever tornadoes he can in the path of Captain America, so Captain America can't delay forever. Terra has an ultimate, but he has to wait out this ultimate that's coming in from Aramori before he can pull the trigger. Ooh, nice movement by Venom here. Okay, is Terra gonna ult now? Good chance for him to do so. Ooh, Nectar comes to the back line and goes straight for the support. Healing bubble up, though. And with Diamond Form, TTK can tank it. He needs some healing, though. Getting kind of low. Okay, so he's going to go for Loki clones. There's 1. Here's 2. 3. The numbers just go up, dude. Count Dracula would have loved this. Again! 5 seconds of counting. Can anyone touch? I don't think so. I think it's over. Yeah, there's no overtime. And 100 Thieves defend. Solid defense there from 100 Thieves. Sorry for the cough there. It's a little warm in my room. 85 degrees. My throat's drying up. I need some water. A slight break. It's hard solo casting. But I do it for you all, man. I'm here for you. Def Danny being a goof on the YouTube chat. So Sentinels were able to grab a point and almost 3/4. A pretty massive stop here for 100 Thieves. And all they have to do is beat that and they are good to go, and they'll take a lead in this best of 7 series. Have to wonder what Sentinels plans to go for. In terms of stats, like if you look over Sentinels, they were fine. They just couldn't really get the traction going.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Yeah, I don't really see a problem in any of these numbers. This is just like this is what happens when 2 good teams are going at each other, right? And Terra did find a couple of really good resets as well. Amazing is currently on Star-Lord.
3, 2, 1.
Is he gonna run it?
To the mission area. Got it?
Portal goes up. Yeah, he hasn't switched yet. I think they want to dive in here and just try to find a quick pick. Delana will be able to switch over to Psylocke here. There we go. And after the portal, Techie actually moved into Venom. So we have Venom and Crimzo with Magneto. So Sentinels made a play for this high ground here. But 100 Thieves was able to keep it themselves. And Sentinels goes in the back corner. So what they've done is position themselves in the backside, while 100 Thieves has grabbed the entire high load. Like, look at this. They can just kind of pick out Venom, but Venom can run back to his team. You're going to see Magneto trying to bounce back and forth on the objective to slow it down. Delana is really attempting to find someone here with the Psylocke, while Nectar's in the back line. Look at this. Look at Nectar's over here, trying to take on Terra. He's playing around the health pack. There's 2 health packs there, so they can kind of have that 1v1 and both be fine. Aramori popping the Luna Snow ultimate. Harvey answers back, goes in the back line here. And Terra goes for the reset. Dude. 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 The moment Aramori's ultimate dissipated, you can see how Caravara in the top right corner was building up for their second ultimate. Terra just went for it. And the moment he found one pick, he just found resets, and Caravora could not get her ultimate up. So there was no way for Luna Snow to save that, and Sentinels just got ran over. Perfect timing, dude. Perfect timing. Like, that timing was like by 2 seconds. If Caravora had 2 more seconds, she gets her ultimate up. Wowzer. Right, Maisie coming around with Star-Lord, taking this high ground here, trying to chip their opponent and pull back. I don't know what the thought process is here for Rive Amazing with Star-Lord. I feel like he's not gonna have a lot of damage by himself. And it's not looking good. 100 Thieves is just straight up running them down here. Rive Amazing goes down. He has no respawn because he doesn't have Adam Warlock on his team. Loki gets picked up as well. Crimzo being deleted at the same time. Sentinel's doing what they can here to hold, but Nectar's gonna go down next, and now they're just straight up staggering. They almost look a little bit lost right now, to be quite frank. Okay, so Rive Amazing switches. He goes over to Bucky. I think the idea was he wants to have Star-Lord to jump in, drop his E, and clear out the Loki clones, as well as the runes when they pop up. And they had Venom that can dive with them too, but they just couldn't get it going their way. There's just too much DPS skill for 100 Thieves. Crimzo coming up with a pretty good B-ball, actually. 3 people, 400 Thieves have been picked off. And while 100 Thieves is in the backline on the Sentinels, Sentinels are able to start delaying. Ooh, they do lose Techie. Techie was actually on the objective slowing it down, so his team could deal with the people that were in the backline, but 100 Thieves get the upper hand on it. Crimzo finally cleaning up. Rive Amazing had to use an ultimate for 1 reset, but here comes Psylocke, and they just easily clean it up. 100 Thieves dismantling Sentinels here in round number 3, and will easily go up 2-1 in the series. Welcome to game number 4. We are heading to Domination for Hell's Heaven, which is where we can see that res composition if 100 Thieves gonna let it go through. But I will say 100 Thieves DPSs do seem a lot more locked in right now than Sentinels. Nectar and Rive Amazing could not secure the takedowns that we saw both Delana and Terra perform in the last match. Now, with that being said, we have to always have the caveat here that Sentinels did beat 100 Thieves yesterday in the winners final, and they started out rough. They were 2-0'd and they came back and won 3 in a row. So now it might be that time. They have the ability here to go down 1-3 and still come back and win, right? The first to 4 does win here. Looking at the bans, we're starting to get a little bit of a metas coming out between these two. 100 Thieves is keeping the Captain America away, protecting Emma Frost, moving into a Magneto ban, as Sentinels did protect Emma Frost himself, right? Which is something that we were seeing a lot in the second map, where you would have Rive Amazing or Nectar come in, drop down some damage. Nectar in particular did Star-Lord, use an ultimate, force support ultimate, and then Techie would come in after with Emma Frost ult. So it does seem like that combination is something they might pull off a little bit more. Now, 100 Thieves elects to leave open the Adam Warlock composition. Instead, they do Magneto, Groot, and Doctor Strange bans. And then they protect Bucky for themselves, as Terra has been on point with it right now. So, Sentinels, what do you be playing here? A massive ban on a lot of the frontliners here. Taking them out. Forcing Crimzo and Techie to figure out what they want to play. Now, Crimzo has been stated by other players to be one of the better off tanks, so I'm assuming Techie's gonna take the Emma Frost, and then Crimzo needs to figure it out from here. Crimzo grabs the thing. Okay. Will be helpful. I do wonder about the Hulk being played here, because the Hulk with Psylocke is actually pretty deadly, and the Hulk would give Iron Man a smidgen more damage on his lasers. I'm actually surprised they're not going that route. And I wonder if that's intentional. And if so, why? I know Hulk can kind of be countered, especially by Bucky. If Bucky goes in for the engagement and you don't have your Gamma Shield available for you, Bucky will get the pull and kind of burn down Hulk pretty quickly and build up his ultimate. And then he has a follow-up into his own ultimate on top of Bruce Banner after the Hulk, right? So you get a reset into a reset and you can kind of snowball. So I think that's the line of process here. But I think it would really do a lot for them. Regardless of not going that route, instead they go for the thing instead. Who can help frontline and lead the charge? So here we go. 100 Thieves up 2-1 over Sentinels. 100 Thieves leading the pack. A little bit late to the point. Actually, Ryan Amazing gets there first. Starts with some pre-fires here. Trying to first find some poke damage. Needs to be careful of Terra. Terra has 2 charges on the red projectile coming forward, and that knocks Flyers straight to the ground. And that could be life-ending for Ryan Amazing. Crimzo taking a pretty big beat down so far. We do see Techie head in, attempting to lock down a target, and they do get a pick on Vinny, who was running Groot. Now, Groot is a great combination. I don't think we've seen him so far in this tournament, or at least in today's matchup, excuse me. Vinny on Groot. Groot can lock down a target with a couple of roots, and then Terra can come in afterwards with his ultimate, and it's going to put a reset marker on everybody in the ultimate, and you can clean it up, right? The supports have to be really locked in. They got to make sure that they have their ultimates coming out before Groot does that, or it can be hard for them to survive. Ryan Amazing continues to poke. SJP gets sniped, and Ryan Amazing goes down. Needs to watch out for Delana. Yeah, the moment he hears a shot hit him from Delana, he's going to dash away immediately. Iron Man cannot handle too much damage coming his way. Ooh, nice pickup there by Nectar. Slides to the side here. And Sentinels actually in a commanding lead. Playing the map quite well. Iron Man has a really good reinforcement time, by the way, thanks to his boosters. So even though he gets picked off, he can be there a little bit on the quicker side. Not the fastest. I think Spider-Man's technically the fastest. But Iron Man is probably in the top 5 of reinforcers. Okay, Terra has an ultimate built up. Nectar coming in the back line. Decent damage so far. I love that teams are just running it down when they have a Psylocke ult come in, and they just run in and force the fight. Terra trying to find a reset. So far being stopped thanks to Korova. Dropping the healing ult. TTK comes around here on the side, gets a couple of diamonds. Ooh, that's gonna be 1. That's gonna be 2 picks. This should be 100 Thieves' objective. Yeah, they take it. But Sentinels can be pretty happy right now. 82% on their first objective control. That's not too bad. That's pretty good. I didn't see the ultimate from Ryan Amazing what he was going for, but obviously he did use it there. He's down to 15%. And now 100 Thieves and a pretty commanding lead in terms of ults. Not objective control, but they're working on that. Wall's coming out for Vinny. Oh my god. He dropped down an iron wall, and then he dropped down a normal wall. Went for an auto attack, and everyone from 100 Thieves hit Techie at the right time. That was 6 people focusing on one target at once. Massive. Great play from 100 Thieves. And they eat the ultimate of Techie. And you can see how there's like 2 little Groot walls on the top wall there. When they come through, if Groot hits any damage on a target, the walls will also help damage. Groot, in theory, can be one of the highest damage vanguards if he builds up enough box, right? He's a Fortnite character of Marvel Rivals. Now, Remizing does have an ultimate. Dropping his laser here, trying to burn through. Poking the back line here. He has an ultimate. He's going to go for it and try to hit Luna Snow. Does he get it? No. Luna Snow able to move out. SJP does not get the healing on TTK, though. So 100 Thieves starts to move forward, but they're down 2 forces, and Terra's trying to make up for it, but he can't find a reset on anybody here. So Sentinels able to step up and start working in. Vinny trying to desperately stay alive, but with Techie coming forward on Emma Frost, they're able to lock him down. TTK is forced to portal in. We are getting towards overtime time here. So TTK jumps up, jumps in through the angle, has a little bit of time here. They're trying to find a little wiggle room, but look at these lasers coming in from both Techie and Ryan Amazing from different angles. Great crossfire. Harvey pops the ultimate, gets on the point, and we're now in overtime. Sentinels do have the lead, and it would be wise for them to try and back up here. Oh, hang on. Ryan Amazing comes for an ultimate. Does not connect. Hits a wall instead. Harvey actually does get deleted, though. I don't know if that was Nectar, but Harvey being down means there is one support down for 100 Thieves. And then SJP, here goes Delana. They're starting to fall, and Techie is full HP. And look at this. When he's at 100%, his primary attack does so much damage. And that's going to be the first round for Sentinels. Yeah, the damage when you're built up on Emma Frost at 100% on your primary attack is wildly strong. I think it's 150 damage per second. You just cook people. I noticed, okay, so I was trying to figure out why exactly Amazing on Iron Man works. And I think I'm starting to see the vision. So what they're doing is taking Techie and Amazing, who both have like laser abilities.
30 seconds before you
They're
attack.
able to crossfire on a target. And if one gets shot, the other one can back up. And the one that should be shot is probably the Iron Man. But Iron Man's able to play around a healer, which allows for Techie to be completely opened up and build up a primary attack. It's actually really clever. Where Amazing goes in, creates a lot of focus on him up in the sky, and then Techie can come in on Emma Frost and build up his primary attack and be really useful.
2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area.
Sentinels up 1-0 over 100 Thieves, trying to tie up the series into a 2-2, which would make it an absolute banger. Amazing charging forward, starts to get those primary attacks out, and that's a kind of advantage of Iron Man. So you can get there first and kind of scout, get a couple of shots on people. You're not going to find any takedowns using just your splash damage here, but you definitely get to spread out these healers and make them slow down their push. Ultron is going to be the switch up here for 100 Thieves. He moves straight into Delana, who now has the ultimate. Now this ultimate does good damage and good healing, as Ultron is technically a support, but he's taken out of the sky actually by Sentinels. Amazing is just cooking with his laser. Look at that, dude. So Iron Man has a mode where he can buff himself up, and that's what he does there. When that laser looks a little bit on the bigger side, he's doing amplified damage for the moment. And I think it's a pretty large cooldown, right? I think it's about 8 to 10 seconds that you can do it for, and he just cooks everybody. The range on it is very deceptive. But great job by Amazing, able to kite back. And Terra has switched to a counter to Iron Man, which is the Punisher. They realize, okay, Iron Man's starting to become an issue. Let's deal with him. Punisher, if able to get headshots on him, can delete Iron Man out of the sky quickly. SJP coming forward, dropping a heal. SJP actually gets taken out there. I think, who was it that hit that? Was that Nectar? I think Nectar and Iron Man combined together were able to get SCP, which dropped the invisible barrier and completely dismantled 100 Thieves' plans. Sentinels, man, starting to show why they're in the grand finals. 100 Thieves are making their own adjustments. Vinny has switched over from the Thing into Captain America. And one thing that Captain America can do is deflect a projectile, and he can do it to pretty much any ultimate in the game. In fact, we had an interesting moment where we saw him do it with Magneto's ult yesterday. So that might be the intention here. Just try and get in the way of the ult. Luna Snow ult comes out. Vinny did try to jump in front of it, but he also was able to get over there and help out his teammates. Kurova providing the healing for the team. 100 Thieves losing another member as Delana gets picked off. Terra just trying to get anybody, but Sentinels pulls back well. They kept an eye on the Punisher and everyone hid behind corners. Wasting time can be a great valuable skill. Vinny jumping over, providing the damage reduction. Crimzo here as well. Vinny about to go down. There he goes. And Crimzo trying to finish this game here. Is Sentinels going to grab a 2-0 on 100 Thieves? Portal comes out from Delana, but there's nobody else. Everyone's dead. Sentinels grab a 2-0 and they tie up the series 2-2. And welcome back to game number 5. We have had consistent back and forth between these two teams, but one thread that we can really start to highlight and talk about now that we've had a few matches under our belt is that 100 Thieves seem to do a lot better on Convoy in terms of domination, and Sentinels love domination, right? I said domination in terms of like 100 Thieves on Convoy. They're better at Convoy maps, it appears, and Sentinels are better at domination. Let me make sure I get that correct for you guys. Sentinels have won both 2-0 on the domination maps, and 100 Thieves have been winning on the Convoy map. So we're on round number 5, and I think there are more Convoy/Convergent maps in the map pool. So Sentinels are gonna have to find out a way to pull out a win on one of these. So let's keep an eye on that and see that how it goes down. 100 Thieves continues to keep focusing Crimzo and not give him Captain America. They don't want to deal with the pressure that he can put on the field. For Sentinels, they're banning out Psylocke. They're actually changing up their draft strategy. They're saying, all right, Terra, you play whatever you want. What we're going to do is focus on your tanks, and we're going to attempt to take out Loki so you can't have the double healer and the extra healer that is able to pop that off early. And then we're also going to focus on Nectar, who's been pretty solid tonight in the matchup. And they're going to let Terra get whatever Terra wants. And to ensure that, 100 Thieves actually moved over and picked up Wolverine, who Terra wants right now. Terra has been... How do I say this? He has been a menace. He has been a honey badger. He has been licking the honey. He is a Winnie the Pooh bear of Wolverines. He has been completely dismantling his opponents whenever he gets that character. And you see he instantly locks it in. Terrifying. Sentinels, knowing that this Wolverine is coming their way, decide to lock in the composition that is one of their bread and butters. And the thing is, like, they actually don't think this is their best composition. It's a composition they play really well because they're intelligent. It's a composition they think that they match up well against for the 100 Thieves. We'll see if they can pull it off. The good news is they are playing defense first, so they will be able to play around that Adam Warlock. And they are playing on the map Spider Island. Spider Island is one of the maps that did come out originally with Marvel Rivals. This is one of my favorite maps because there's so many different paths and angles and places to hide in. It seems like a full fleshed out map. Some of the maps that have come out lately for Marvel Rivals are good maps, to be quite frank with you. I think they're solid, they're really enjoyable to play, but this one has a feel to it as if it has been in development for a long time and had time to be built upon. And so we are going to see a lot of strategy being partook on this map. There's a lot of different areas. The first part of the area is so different from the second part of the map, and the third point is incredibly different as well. So changing up your heroes can be very, very important and beneficial for our teams. So let's hop into it. Immediate engage, and you're going to see Terra just thrown into it. This is what Terra does. He is a hunter, and usually he's very consistent about it. It's kind of funny, because when the game first came out, Wolverine was obviously considered very, very bad. Flyers seemed to shut them down really quickly, but slowly over time, with a couple of changes to be fair, Wolverine has become one of the strongest characters in the game. His ability to pick people off, pull characters into his team, and get a pick off is just something that is hard to deal with, and teams have to be ready for it. And when him being able to team up with the Thing and the Hulk can be thrown into a fight, it makes it a little bit easier for him to find those picks. So here we go. Let's see how this all unfolds. 100 Thieves has been trying to go for these picks. So far, they've missed 2 attempts. Ooh, but I think Wolverine's actually right above. I can hear him walking around. Oh, yeah, there he is. He finds a pick. And it's on the healers here to be pixel perfect. They have to provide the heals and save Nectar. And Amazing did just that. He immediately stood up, popped his ultimate, tried to keep him alive. Oh, but Nectar gets picked off anyways. Amari is going to go ahead and lead the charge here for 100 Thieves. Trying to open up the space. TTK on the upside here, locking down any target that he can. Finds Amari as well. Amari takes a little bit of damage. Luna Snow able to ult up and keep 100 Thieves nice and boosted out. And Nectar now loses out on his respawn mechanic, and Carnivore wasn't quite there to pull off his ult as well. So Sentinels gonna take a step back here on this fight, and this should buy a little room for 100 Thieves. Oh my god, Delana getting multiple picks. 100 Thieves should be able to march up here. They do have a couple of things they have to watch out for. There's 2 ways to come in, 3 if you count the vertical way as well for Sentinels. So this first thing is to look at this first choke here on the left, and you see Delana already watching that. And the next one is the choke here on the right, which you see Sentinels already moving for. There we go. Delana gets eyes on them. Nectar playing in deep territory here on the top side. Ooh, coming in with an ultimate, trying to get Terra low. Delana going for the snipes though. Nice shot by Delana. Does he come up? He does. Nectar tries to approach him, but wastes his entire ultimate. But it's okay. He used the ultimate to get space. Now his team can move up here on the side. Techie going forward, getting a couple of diamonds in the front line. Great shields coming out from 100 Thieves. And immediately you see Vinny just running for the back line. He wants to create attention on him, which will allow for Terra to step up and get those combos off. Kurova goes for an ultimate, bringing everyone out for Sentinels. And they are able to grab their entire roster back up and again. TTK trying to get the opposing Techie. Techie locked into a corner. I wonder if he went for a slam there. Yes, Techie did go down, so did Nectar. And this should be the end of the defense here for 100 Thieves. They should be able to move up and grab the point. Mari is trying to slow this down with an ultimate. Does it work? Well, they're trying for it. Clobbering time coming out for Crimzo. There goes Terra, locking them into a corner. 2 down. Oh my god, but Techie comes in with a portal. And they're just, again, going back to the idea of just throwing bodies at the problem. But eventually, with persistence, 100 Thieves is able to grab the objective. Up to 3 minutes. Tournament still going? Yes, sir. We are in the best of 7. So, damage recap, really quickly. I do believe Nectar and Koravara have lost out on their respawns. Remember, that is a 105-second cooldown. I didn't quite catch the right amazing one, but I assume it's down as well. But we'll see here relatively soon. Sentinels need to start building up their ultimates again, so the second phase is probably going to be not an easy grab, but a probably moderately difficult grab for 100 Thieves, but they should be able to have an easier time compared to the first one due to the resources being down. Terra coming in for a combo, trying to lock someone down. Unable to do so, and you see Crimzo on the thing here. For those that we haven't really talked about it, Crimzo is a soft counter slash hard counter, if you will. Depends on who you're talking to Wolverine. The thing has a passive that prevents him from being unmovable to an opposing member. He can be stunned, he can be CC'd, but he can't be moved, and that kind of really hits into what Wolverine is trying to do. So he's a great option. He also provides that damage reduction so he can jump onto a target that's being grabbed by Terra. Born Again comes out, drops down the Soulbound. Nectar goes up on the high side here and starts to take his shots. 100 Thieves wisely backing up, playing around these shields. There goes the ultimate in from SJP. Invisible Barrier gonna help negate that. And Nectar gets sniped once again. Man, 100 Thieves are locked in on Nectar right now. Nectar's gonna be able to respawn, but they do lose out on Crimzo, so they'll have to run all the way back here. Amazing did have his respawn as well. He's gonna go ahead and respawn now. Or is he gonna hold off on it? He holds off on it. Okay, smart. So he will have it for the next fight. And 100 Thieves still have to go a little bit further here. They're about 70% through their second push. Terra already in position here. Setting up, trying to find their opponents. Wants to be on the side, always lingering. Sentinels need to step up now. There we go. Oh my god, Delana. Nice, nice. Terra comes around from the left side, trying to find a target. Doesn't really connect, but Delana with the kill on Nectar makes it a lot easier for 100 Thieves to move forward. TTK going in for his ultimate, but a nice clobber in time will interrupt that. Also hits Terra, who was trying to go for an ultimate. Terra still has the ultimate, though. Should be able to pop it soon. He moves in. There goes the combo. Goes for Korova, which is that Adam Warlock, and finds another pick. And this is why you don't let Terra get the Wolverine. Oh my gosh. Just a complete thorn in the side. And that really kind of compounded the rest of his team, right? When he's constantly catching a lot of attention, finding people, getting the pickoffs, it allows Delana to come in for an off angle, get a couple of picks, surprise their opponent. Like, look at this. Delana is up on the opposing team's spawn and getting damage in. Look at how much space is created. Nice. Good help there. Help their teammate out. Oh my gosh. Another pick. Korova gets taken out. How frustrating is that? Ultimate will be available for them, but now Delana's in a weird spot where he's able to hunt down on the actual fight, but stop Korova from rotating in. Great positioning here by Delana. Terra gets a combo off. Good heals coming in. Delana up in the sky, starting to shell down from that same angle. Korova sneaking in now, trying to get the team to help her fight some heals. Nectar on the high ground, one pick, looking for a second here. Can he get it? Trying to chase him down. They all run in their teammates and back away though. 49 seconds. 100 Thieves has one big push in them, maybe two fights. Clobber in time. Oh my gosh. 100 Thieves getting pushed into their respawn location by Crimzo and crew. 28 seconds. And all 100 Thieves is trying to do is get on the objective. Sentinels wants to slow that down. That's the goal. Good bait here by Nectar. He goes around the right side. Combo comes out on Terra. Terra able to turn in some decent damage, but here comes the Born again. We're just going to respawn all of Sentinels. They're trying to keep him away from the objective. Vinny aware of it, though. He moves in. 6 seconds of counting. Should be able to get the overtime here. Amari with the Cloak and Dagger going for the back line. And now with 100 Thieves having to think about the objective, they have to watch out. But Terra comes in, gets a combo, but lands inside the Aramori ult. Aramori, however, still falls. Techie trying to lock down this location. gets a decent amount of damage in, but 100 Thieves is just too resilient. But they still are in overtime, and Sentinels are going to respawn. Delana and Terra head forward. They are the DPS dealers. They want to try and lock them into their choke. Delana. Oh, misses the jump. Oh my god. All good though. Comes around the side, starts getting shots off. Nice job by Sue Storm providing a barrier. Mantis does bring the sleep in, but Delana's able to back out. It's a game of vengeance right now. Sentinels keeping up the pressure. Nectar goes up, goes for the shots. Nectar finds a kill before he is locked down. Invisible barrier goes up. Harvey is down for 100 Thieves. Delana gets completely melted in the sky. Clobbering time comes out, locking down the targets. We do have Vinny on the back line over the supports, but TTK has fallen for 100 Thieves. They have lost their main tank, so Vinny has to pull back. Delana finds a snipe, though. It is going to be a respawn for Rymazing. Terra on the back left finds another pick. He does pack his passive here, which will give him a full heal. What a nail biter. Rymazing trying to help out, but he gets picked off. Here comes Amori, and 3 points are awarded to 100 Thieves by this much on the objective points.
2, 3. Time to switch things
Here we go.
including which side you're on.
Sentinels will have to do the same. Gotta get 3 points and then win it in overtime.
Team to win this one.
But 100 Thieves, dude. They just know how to push, man. They should be delivering babies, to be quite frank with you. They know how to get it done. Same composition so far for 100 Thieves. Terra setting up. And they're going to keep Vinny on the thing here instead of going Captain America. So they can throw in Terra over and over. Rocket Raccoon is just here to provide some armor shields. Delana should probably switch back to... they need a consistent range damage dealer. It's probably going to be Hella, right? Now looking over to Sentinels. They do bring out a flyer with Nectar playing the Human Torch. And Rymazing is going to be on Ultron. So is Amori going to play Mantis? Mantis is great for this composition. She can't play Loki because it's banned out currently. Invisible Woman could be the other pickup, or Cloak and Dagger. It's probably gonna be Cloak and Dagger, honestly. We'll see. I would prefer a Mantis because you want to amplify the Ultron. But yeah, it's Cloak and Dagger. I actually don't think I've seen Amori on Mantis ever. Terra grabs a pick, boosts up the team, gets a kill. So one thing you can do on Wolverine is you can get a booster pack. Oh, by the way, shut up. Who cares about anything? Rymazing is on Magic. How exciting. Oh, I missed his last game. I'm so pumped. Oh. Okay, so Rymazing is playing Magic, who is, in my opinion, the closest character to a fighting character in Marvel Rivals. He's got this giant-ass sword here, has dashes available to him into a knockout combo and can one-shot people. It's so incredibly powerful. Great way to get out of your zone. The other part with Magic, too, is she has animation cancels. So once you go for a left primary attack, you can go into a melee attack, which will cancel out, but you get double the damage and don't have to look at the entire animation, right? So mechanically, you have to be really strong on Magic. On top of that, whenever she uses her portal, she becomes invincible in the game, and she also gets built up on armor, too. So she's kind of like a very effective bruiser. It can surprise your opponents, and that's what Sentinels have been using it for. Now, it looks like they're going to go ahead and switch back over to Ultron. And sadly, we don't get the Magic in the early game, but 100 Thieves was completely surprised by that opening. And that's what you're trying to go for sometimes in these pro matches. You're trying to surprise your opponent and make them be in a spot where it's unexpected, right? So 100 Thieves sets up for a defensive comp. Terra is actually playing Doctor Strange because they want to portal in here and try and delay. We might see him go back on the Wolverine later on. But Nectar is able to start grabbing this point here on the top side, dropping down some fire already. Look at that. Just burning him as they come out. Look at that burn damage. Triangle's OP, dude. That's why the pyramids were built by them. True story. Kuroa pops the ultimate here for Sentinels to try and slow down this entire fight, allowing for the team to keep up. Everyone inside that invisible barrier is slowed down. And look at this knockup. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sentinel just cooking through them. Now, with that being said, they've had to use every single ultimate for this first point, which, you know, isn't a bad thing. But it does slow down their next point on a point number 2. Terra went back to Wolverine. He's already on the high ground. He's trying to find these flyers, right? Flyers are fully aware of it, though. They're breaking down all the debris around him, making it hard for him to sit around a corner. Taking a wide angle, making it harder for him to get on top of him. Both of them do have dashes. Nectar can jump to the ground, which will give him a shield, and then Ultron has a big spatial jump. Terra comes up and tries to grab Ultron. Looks like he's able to get out of that just barely. But Nectar is officially down, so Sentinels will have to back up. I like 100 Thieves' aggression. Every time they get a pick, they move straight up to the objective. Kind of a rough ultimate, but I don't hate using it there. They were hoping to find one more pick and stagger the deaths. But Emma Frost can be good without her ultimate too, right? So you don't mind using it in that scenario. The upside is too good. Shields up. Rye Amazing providing healing and damage for his frontliners. Wow. Vinny went down pretty quick there. Solid damage so far. Terra goes up, goes for him on the flyer. Observer was not ready for that one, but I get it. Nectar was actually able to heal up. If you see actually right above his health bar, he had a drone on top of him from Rye Amazing, which provides consistent healing. So he was able to survive that encounter, and Terra gets picked off. Sentinels, man, looking really strong here. And map number 5. And now they have ultimates in a much better state than they were a couple minutes ago. Wow, trying to take shots on these healers, but can't really hit them. Kind of a weird position there for Delana. Really weird position for them. I think that ultimate was more of a scare tactic more than a usage for getting kills. And here come the tornadoes. SJP will answer it with the Luna Snow ultimate. Should buy some time. But the tornadoes were actually consistent enough with Cloak and Dagger that they could pick them off. Doesn't look like coordination though is coming in from Sentinels. TTK grabs an ultimate and pulls in Nectar, but great job. He actually positioned himself where he was on the wall, so Rye Amazing can splash his ultimate on the wall and provide with heals. Great little maneuver between the two. Terra does find an ultimate, but here is Techie. Grabs Wolverine by the throat, which, to be quite frank with you, he probably enjoys. Got him in the ground, and eventually they pick him off. And Sentinels about to grab point number 2. Harvey is slowing it down with his ultimate, but is it going to be enough? I don't think so. I don't know, actually. Vinny's here. Clever time, knocks him up. Full damage, focused on him. Great job, team. Wolverine's here once again. It's a portal too. The delay on the delay on the delay into the delay. My favorite play. I love a plan D. But the D's not going to be enough. 100 Thieves. Loses 3. Uses a lot of cooldowns. Uses portal as well. They got to regroup. But Sentinels want to deny them that regroupage. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Did Nectar overextend? How did he live? What? That's bonkers. What a great save. The healer's playing out of their mind right now. MF Frost from the side, grabbing Techie, pulls in 2 or 3. A surprise Techie is going to surprise all of 100 Thieves. SJP goes down. Down for 5 seconds, and Harvey doesn't have an ultimate, so 100 Thieves has to slow down their ascent. There's actually a little like wall here. I know it's like kind of weird looking, but there's actually like a little bit of damage they can do there and break through and get some shots. Time starting to tick though for Sentinels. Nectar pops his ultimate. Vinny's behind them, trying to slow the objective down. Good tornadoes over the wall here. He's actually gonna go for the chase, and Nectar gets the kill. Oh my god, Nectar has gone full supernova. Solid take so far. Try and take out Cloak and Dagger, and they will get it. 3 down. SJP's gonna pop the ultimate to buy time. Should buy time for his teammates to spawn if he doesn't die here. The team is trying to focus him down, but he's able to get away just barely. TTK comes out. And here's Delana as well. A little bit too far away, but should be able to get some good splash damage. Meanwhile, Terra goes straight into Iron Fist. It's something that we've seen in earlier matches as a way to try and counter the Flyers, but I wonder if it's too late. Clobber in time connecting for Crimzo. Another engage coming in from Emma Frost. Big haymaker being wind up from Crimzo. Keeping up the damage, keeping the shields moving, and this is a full-out brawl. Terra does find a pick. 3 are down. And Sentinels has to make the decision to go ahead and give up now. They have to. All 6 have been wiped, but they do have 30 seconds. Do they have a portal available to them?
Down to 30 seconds.
No portal. They're just going to run it in. Terra in position on the high ground. Waiting for the supports to walk by, and they're going to hit their damage on them. And the problem for Sentinels, they don't actually have any ults. Terra's about to have an ult. He might clean this all up. Amazing getting damage on Vinny. 10 seconds of counting. Nectar moves forward. 3 seconds. Techie has an ultimate. Nectar about to have one. Iron Fist in the back line. Goes in from behind, gets the parry. Comes around the side. Healing, and he has an ultimate to pop. Vinny's low on HP, but gets back to his team. No problem. Here comes Iron Fist. Trying to run down these flyers. Korova is now dead, and he did not use his ultimate. And Terra is just in the back line. An absolute menace. And 100 Thieves will hold just by a couple of meters, but it's enough. They go up 3-2 in the series and in the game. And here we go into match number 6. My ladies and gentlemen that are watching and hanging, this has been an incredible series. Now, Sentinels has done well on Domination. They have scored both the map scores there, but this is a map called Convergence. 100 Thieves ahead 3-2, and if they pull off the win here, they win the tournament and $70,000. And I think they get a better seed going to the LAN at the end of July. Pretty good cash outs. Sentinels, on the other hand, if they can get the win here, they will be able to go to the final game, game number 7. Now, 100 Thieves seems to have really locked into what the Sentinels are trying to do. And I gotta admit, that Iron Fist at the end against the double flyer was such a brilliant pick. And I think that's kind of the factor I want to highlight. Terra just has so many characters that he can switch out to that are pivotal in certain situations, and Sentinels are late to respond to it. And I think that's the difference between these two teams. They're both good, and they both on the right compositions can match up well. But the Terra factor has just been so much. And that's where I'm going to look to Amazing right now. I want Amazing with his back against the wall to play what his heart desires. One thing I was wondering about is he came out swinging, surprised his opponent in the last game, used magic, and was able to open up the map. And then he switched off of it. And I wonder why. I know her ultimate takes a while to build, but at that point, you've already built up a lot of it. 100 Thieves, however, know that Amazing can be an Axe Factor for a lot of teams, and they actually head towards banning out Iron Man. So no Iron Man here in game number 6. Amazing will elect to play Ultron here. And while Ultraman is great, and he provides AoE healing, he's got good poke from afar, we've already talked about how strong he can be. I don't know if he has the impact that Sentinels is going to need to win this.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
So we'll see as we continue to go forward. Oh, Exile Weeman's got a TTS. What's up?
Who you got winning game 6?
Who do I got winning game 6? I think it's I think you have to go 100 Thieves here, man. I really do. With an Iron Man ban and 100 Thieves playing lights out, Terra just working it. I think if I was a betting man, I'd pick it. Let me see the comps here, and I'll give you a choice. Currently, if you looked at public, 50-50. You know how often that happens? Not much. That just goes to show how good these games have been. You know? My pick is not triple healer wins. We'll see. And we go. In terms of composition, it is going to be triple healer for Sentinels. 100 Thieves sticking with the Terra pick comp. And there's a lot of angles and curves in this map to where Wolverine can become quite threatening. So if I had to pick, I would probably pick 100 Thieves. It's their bread and butter. They know how to play around objectives. They've been killing it. Sentinels slowly moving forward. They have Crimzo in the front line. They do have Techie here on Emma Frost, which has been pretty demanding of attention. But from here, they're just going to try and build up their ultimates, and Terra's going to try and find a pick before that happens. Flies up, jumping in. Crimzo low on HP, but getting the healing. Able to get through it. Terra, on the other hand, low on HP! Taking damage, but thanks to his passive, able to stay alive, where Nectar was not able to do so. One thing to note as well is we do have the Invisible Woman here for Sentinels, which gives Nectar a little bit more sustainability. Ooh, Riot Amazing gets picked too. That's 2 picks so far. Kurova is going to have their ultimate after Aramori, but he should hold on to it because Aramori went down. The picks are just flooding in for Sentinels. They need to reset. Oh, they need to reset. And they will. But things are not looking good for them. 100 Thieves has built up 4 ultimates. Has a 3rd on the way. They've only used 1 ultimate, where if you look over at Sentinels, they used 1 with Loki. Here we go. TTK pops the ultimate first. Riot Amazing going to answer back and try to keep his front line alive. Nice line of sight here, keeping his team there. SJP pops the ultimate, but Kurova does the same. It's a Venn diagram of visible barriers. Oh, but the pull-in might be enough to get Delana, and they do get it. Terra's old HP, remember, he already used his passive earlier, so Crimzo is able to punish. Kurova did go down, so there's only 1 healer for Sentinels. Romari is going to be working overtime. Nectar coming around the corner, providing tornadoes on this haven of 100 Thieves. They're trying to wait it out, and they want to go in for an engage. Here comes a portal. Terra does have an ultimate. They have to be careful. Oh, no. Ultimate comes in and hits Techie. Only gets 1. Could have been a little bit more. But Sentinels are able to answer back and get STP and Harvey themselves. And with Nectar on the side, trying to get damage on TTK, they're trying to find that final takedown. TTK able to survive thanks to SJP. Aramori backs away. And Crimzo is just in there. They're going to decide to back up. With Harvey dropping down the Cloak and Dagger ultimate, it's a bit too much. They're waiting it out, and then they're going to go and re-engage afterwards. Riot Amazing taking the shots here, getting that splash damage. They do find a pick. SJP goes down. There's 2. Ayavagamato comes out from Delana, but there's nobody here to follow it up. And Delana, who is playing a tank right now, is going to have to back away. Vinny trying to win the one-on-one, but he's all by himself, and he gets picked off, and Sentinels are finally going to grab point number 1. But man, that was a lot of time wasted. 3 minutes and 30 seconds for Sentinels. 100 Thieves setting up defense. Now, commonly, this is the area that we've been seeing a lot of teams wasting a lot of time on. It's very difficult for them to get around these 2 defensive areas. You got your first barrier with full control. And honestly, whoever's trying to hold that top control in the middle is usually the ones that can pull off a little bit of movement. Dude, Delana is chipping Nectar. Nice job. Nectar about to have an ultimate, though. And Crimzo can run in afterwards. Ooh, hang on, they might wait it out. SJP just used a invisible barrier. A bit too early, actually, if you ask me. Terra goes in trying to find a pick. He gets on TTK, but remember, there is that diamond form. Clobbering time on Kavora. Kavora gets healed thanks to Amari and that rune. TTK has 100%, but it is getting chipped out. Ooh, Delana with the flank, though, goes for Riot Amazing. Riot Amazing able to get a shield himself and stay alive. Where's Terra at? There's the Terra ultimate. He goes straight for the back line. Kurova able to put down a Conic Lens and survive. Man, so many abilities are being used right now. Great layers. It looks like Sentinels are going to get the lead on it, though. Techie at 100%. Here's the shields coming up from Aramori. And they run down Techie. Can they get more? Techie just running it down, man. Look at this. Look at this. Full primary attack, pushing him into the corner, and Sentinels will get a nice push going their way. They're about 70% there. The goal for Techie is to stay at 100, so she can keep her damage up. And she's doing great. Look at this. Nice job, Techie. Terra comes in, looking for a flank on the backside. Combo comes out on Crimzo. Crimzo full on HP, though. The support's building up their ultimates. Terra on the backside. Terra goes down. SJP is able to ult, but it was a hair too late. And 2 go down, and then a 3rd. SJP getting focused down, but the invisible barrier is about to deplete. There it is. And Sentinels should be able to get point 2 in a pretty timely fashion. That's a really hard point to get through. 103 set up for defense, and now Sentinels have 2 minutes and 40 seconds to get up this 3rd ramp. Remember, guys, $250,000 on the line. Every interaction important for these guys. Oh, Riot Amazing getting low. Able to back away thanks to the heals. Comes in with his ultimate, leads the charge with his teammates. Vinny and TTK are low on HP. Ultimate coming out from Techie. They push him into the corner, but Harvey has other plans. It drops his ultimate down the ramp, which forces Sentinels not to come up. Great uses there. Techie. Low on ultimate charge, but getting pretty good on his primary. Clobbering time coming out from Crimzo. Gets one target as Harvey gets picked off, and Terra as well, who switched to Bucky. Sentinels just nailing this composition so far. Really leading the charge. Delana, who was flanking on the back line, also gets picked off. Another pick, and they get up the ramp. That's the hardest part here. Now they have to get in the room and just stop anyone from trying to get on top of them. Now, there is less space for flyers in general, so flyers become a little bit harder on the third point. Then he's trying to come around, but Nectar was like, nah, bruh, I got you locked. I know what you've been doing. Terra switched over to the Punisher. Between him and Delana, they want to get rid of these flyers. I think the flyers are the issue. TTK with a decent ultimate. Mori able to pop her ultimate at the same time. There it goes. Barrier goes up from SJP, and Terra now unleashes hell. Here comes the shots. But Aramari is just on top of it. Immediate rune being tossed down, and they back away. Great escape by Sentinels. Effectively, that Punisher ult did nothing, which is not a phrase you say very often in this tournament. Punisher setting up. This is just splash damage here. Good damage, but hard to aim. Flyers can usually dance around that. And speaking of it, Ryan Amazing has to dance. Ooh, he's so close to getting TTK low, but she will be healed up the last time. Sentinels moving forward. Invisible barrier goes up, which means 100 Thieves has to get in there. Terra leads the charge, trying to hop in with a shotgun, but he gets deleted immediately. 2 are left, now 1. And just like that, Sentinels on Convoy. A map type they have not done well on. Walk down 100 Thieves and grab 3-0 against them. Can they get a miracle defense and take it to Game 7? We're about to find out.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Deep breaths. This has been an intense series. Take it in, nice and slow. It was interesting to see how much pressure Sentinels put on the front line, which made it really hard for the DPS to find their picks. They were close multiple times. Both Terra and Delana were trying to get rid of the healers or the flyers, but they were able to really play around all the top infrastructure on this map and made sure to never get picked. Ryan Amazing and Nectar played in tandem perfectly. Now, we do have a bit of a change up here. Delana has chosen to pick Storm. Storm will help out a lot against Loki in particular. Remember, Storm does have a primary attack that pierces enemies, so good at putting pressure on tanks. But she's great at clearing out the runes that Loki puts down, especially when it comes to her ultimate. Storm demands ultimate usage around her. If she pops her ultimate and a tornado comes in, Sentinels will have to have a support ult or they're going to get ran over. So great choice here by 100 Thieves. They're trying to pressure out the supports for Sentinels, which is going to be Aramori and Karavara. Beautiful skin, by the way. I just got that one. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you see how they're clearing the Loki clones? Storm is so good at that. Okay, Cloak and Dagger ultimate. Coming out for Harvey. Leading the charge here for 100 Thieves. Ran him straight into that choke there. And Groot put a wall up. Vinny did. Vinny, a lot of people say his best character is Groot. And he's got great wall placement. I will not lie to you. Nectar making a pretty big splash here, though. Pushing 100 Thieves back. Oh, it's Punisher time. Terra trying to take a shot, but the invisible barrier answers back perfectly. Love to see it. Now, Delana actually got off Storm and went into Doctor Strange to portal in once again. They want to keep up the pressure, but I think Sentinels has good defense here. Here's the portal. But look at this. Sentinels has wisened up, and they stopped getting sidetracked. They just immediately pop their ultimates and run down the opposing team in a weird position and don't let the flank throw them off. What a great read by them. Sentinels wipe everybody from 100 Thieves, and 100 Thieves have to reassess. Delana decides to get off Storm and instead goes into Hela. I think I really like the Storm plan. I'm not sure why they gave up on it so quickly. 2 minutes and counting. 100 Thieves trying to get through here. They want to get the tournament win. Vinny is about to have an ultimate. TTK trying to lock down Torch, and they will get it, but the Tornadoes are already down. Wow, great focus fire. Nectar dies. Kurova also getting picked off, as well as Techie. That's 3 down. 4 and 5. That should be an entire objective. And it is. So all said and done, I actually think 100 Thieves are ahead in terms of time. Sentinels had 3 minutes and 30 seconds at this point. 100 Thieves has 4. If there was a ghost race, 100 Thieves would be ahead. Now they have one of their deadly combinations, which is Vinny into Punisher ultimate. And to even add insult to injury, Delana will have an ult too. So Vinny can drop down this giant root, and then all the DPS can follow it up. Crimzo gets blinded out, which is really sucks when you're playing the thing, by the way, because he's so melee based. Invisible barrier up. Vinny's hunting. He goes for it. Big knockdown, bringing in a couple of them. Perfect play by Kurova. Great job by Kurova. Kurova drops down the invisible barrier, which makes it hard for Terra to find the pickup, and he can kind of like softly try to aim for it, right, and lock in a memory. But Kurova provides healing and a slow, so they can't really advance into it. So they shut down the aggression from 100 Thieves. The plan for 100 Thieves was telegraphed, and it just wasn't enough. Nectar moves up. Time is counting. Tries to go for a Punisher pick. Ooh, getting a little greedy here. Can he get it? Oh, he's trying. He really wanted it. He really wanted that. Unfortunately to do it. Then he's trying to recover on the side. He's actually abandoned the group plan. And Terra has gone back to Bucky. It seems like when things aren't going well, Terra's like, all right, Bucky time. Nectar just dropping on the fire here on all the healing ults. Consistent damage coming in. TTK popping the ultimate, but so does Techie as well. Who will get the better engage? I think Techie did. Harvey got picked off, and Sentinels holds again. Crimzo and Kurova have the next major ult, and Amazing too. They're probably trying to save Kurova's ultimate for when Bucky comes in. There it is. Perfect. Perfect. Just, Kurova is playing out of their mind right now. Incredible. Terra trying to find a combo. SJP answers back with their own invisible barrier. Vinny in the back line. But Amazing providing AoE healing for everybody there. So Captain America really can't do too much. And look how they just hug these walls. Just constantly poking, jiggle picking over the corner. Healing each other up. So Ultron can't heal himself, but he can put the bot on a teammate, and then if he's in the radius, he gets healed too. Vanguard comes out. Crimzo with a perfect stop on that engage. Aramari pops the invisible barrier. The invisible barrier is just destroying right now. How do you stop aimers that are good at aiming? Don't let them see you. Seems to be the whole plan for Sentinels. The double Sue Storm adjustment has just been massive.
Only 60 seconds left. Get that vehicle moving again.
Is Delana changing a hero? I'm thinking about it. Delana does change. Delana goes to Ultron. They decide they have to beat fire with fire. Triple healer with extra DPS. Vinny goes back over to Groot as well. They're going to try and go for one big wombo combo, but if they can't get it, that's it. Nectar steps up, starts burning the tree. Just fire completely on him. Look at that damage, dude. Terra tries to answer back with his own human torch, much to Dogman's chagrin. He's flamed his torch consistently on broadcast. But TTK, full at 100% on the primary. Starts to get their own damage in. SJP goes down again. Sentinels has just found a way to put pressure on these healers and stop the DPS from getting shots on them. And one has to wonder, is the Invisible Woman the key? Overtime? SJP tried to get on there but could not get it. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to again game number 7, and Sentinels has won their first Convoy map. Welcome to the final game, game number 7. We've had a roller coaster of evolution from both of our teams. We started out with the Res composition, and then we had a Magic being played. We had some Iron Man being bopped in. We've had some Bucky resets, but then teams figured out how to shut it down. And now, here in game number 7, our two teams in these last 6 matches need to figure out, okay, what are the problem characters, what needs to be adjusted, and how do we lock in and get this bread? One thing in particular that I think was really impactful in the last match was the invisible barrier from Sue Storm. That was such a great play from Aramori and Koravora in particular. They were ready for every single engagement, and they were just so locked in. And I'm hoping to see more of that. Now, I wonder if 100 Thieves thinks that was a problem, or do they think it was something else? One thing that was occurring that I didn't really highlight as well is that Tara stayed on Wolverine for way too long. Vinny and crew were playing the Thing, right? Ooh, and actually Sentinels does predict the Thing right now. The Thing is a great counter to Wolverine, and the way that it was being played by Crimso allowed for the front line to be incredibly effective. And both of those options are now available for Sentinels again, so they can play Emma Frost in the Thing, making it hard for Wolverine to be played by Tara. So there might have to be an adjustment from 100 Thieves. Looking over to 100 Thieves, they decide they want to lock in Emma Frost and Luna Snow, so they can for sure play those. They can protect them right away. And they're going to ban out Captain America, Magneto, Psylocke, and Torch. All right. Torch banned out for both sides, so we will have no flying Torch, which does kind of make that Ultron composition a little bit on the weaker side. Sentinels, however, looking over to them. Ooh, we do have a Bucky hover. We haven't seen Nectar play Bucky this entire series so far. Will he pull it out in game number 7? He's looking at that in Wolverine. What I'm more curious about is what is Ryan Mazing going to play? We do get the Invisible Woman again, by the way. 100 Thieves also made a clever play in the last round as well, and I'm wondering if they're going to try and continue going down that route. They pull out the Bucky in the late side, and it's been pretty effective this entire best of 7 series. And I do wonder, do they want to start out with it? I think Bucky is a safe start, right? You can get a feel for what your opponent's going for, and then if you decide Bucky isn't going to get the resets based on what they have, whether it be too many supports, their Vanguard plays pretty on point, you can adjust and switch it from there at the 50% mark. And then the one thing as well that we've seen a lot from them is Iron Fist, we've seen Wolverine, so I think they do have characters that they can just transition into if they want to. Get that squirrel off my screen! Here we go. Game number 7. 100 Thieves stepping up. They do stay on the Bucky for Tara. And Ryan Mazing is going to put game number 7 on the line, and he plays his Iron Man. And we have 2 Buckies actually in the mix. Both Nectar and Tara. Full reset competitions available. A little bit of a difference in the DPS supporting. We have Iron Man for one, then Delana for the other. And I like that Tara and Delana came out with Bucky and Hela in terms of their draft. And on paper, they should be able to handle this Iron Man without any issues. Pushing around the corner. Interesting that Sentinels decide to actually play the lower end of this map. Usually try to play the high ground and go from there, but not the case here. Tara goes for an immediate ultimate here. Can he find a reset? Trying to find it. He gets one. Oh, no. Oh, no. Sentinel needs to back up. You need to back out. Oh my gosh.
Amazing! 6 in a row! Way to go!
I think that moment speaks for itself. I really do. That was incredible. Tara farmed his ultimate so fast that he's 20% ahead of Nectar. He came out and his goal was to get as much AoE damage as possible, drop his cooldowns, and go for an immediate ultimate before his opponent can get a ultimate to stop him. Incredible. Ryan Mazing coming out for a shot, actually gets 2 on the back line. What was that angle, bro? What the hell, dude? Oh my god. Oh, is he playing this game with a protractor? That was bonkers. Ryan Mazing coming out with an ultimate and getting that shot legitimately just helped out Sentinels so much. Look at how much time is being wasted. 2 minutes. And the cool thing is Nectar has an ultimate as well. So Nectar can start to do his own Bucky show. Nectar playing the high ground. Getting those shots off. Big Groot ultimate coming out. And SJP will answer back with an immediate Luna Snow ultimate. Great job. Headshots coming in. Trying to deal with the Hela. Hela getting low on HP and she does fall. Aramari will lose out on 2 of her clones, but not a big deal at all. Here goes Nectar on the side. Goes in for the damage. Rye Amazing sitting behind the bus and doing the laser. 2 down for Sentinels. Nectar and Crismo. Terra goes up. He's like, all right, can I turn this around? He's going to try it, but he gets Diamond. He gets Diamond. It gets popped out, and Rye Amazing with another ultimate. Point blank takes out the Groot. 100 Thieves hurting at the moment. Both Vinny and Terra here, but Vinny's going to be able to teleport in, so not a big deal. Rye Amazing on the side, trying to poke it. Aramari is down, so they are down 1 support, which is really rough for them. Nectar's going to try and get a reset here. Did he get it? Oh, it was close, but he couldn't quite find the shot on Delana. Solid movement and good heals. Sentinels is down 2, now down a third. 100 Thieves are going to be able to push forward, and Sentinels will have relinquished point number 1. So 3 minutes on the clock here. Typically point 1 on this map is actually kind of hard to get, and then point 2 gets a little bit easier if you can grab that high ground. There is a weird tug of war that occurs right when you get down this ramp that we're about to come down on the right side. You see a little subway area. It gets kind of hard down there, mostly because of how big and wide open it is and how many little nooks and crannies people can hide in. So we should see 100 Thieves kind of accelerate towards that area, and then it should slow down a little bit unless they get a wipe, which right now with the Buckies being available for both teams, anyone could really wipe here, right? The reset game is just so strong. TTK getting walled out. They're trying to lock down the Summer Frost. They get her. Wow. Wow. Great chase down. Crimson needs to back up. There we go. All right, Mari's got him. No big deal. So Rymies is actually in a good spot here with Iron Man. Iron Man can float above and pop his ultimate on people when they come to this choke and try to get shot on them if he's quiet. He needs to make sure that he isn't boosting though, because those boosters on Iron Man are some of the loudest things in the game. Oh yeah. Ryan Amazing doing the dolphin maneuver. Up and down, up and down. It's one of the best ways to live. Shoots the ultimate, gets a shot off the back right. Colliding with the wall there. Nectar gets a kill as well, and the resets are coming in. Aramari did fall for Sentinels. And there's actually a massive ult coming out from TTK, which is going to result in Ryan Amazing and Nectar going down. So no DPS for Sentinels. Sentinels may need to consider backing up. Kurova just runs it down there. Smart play. Just dies on purpose. Wants to reset. There's no point. If you try to run away, he's going to stagger. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Sentinels has 1 ultimate to help delay. 100 Thieves has 1 ultimate to reset, and it's Terra. Delana trying to find an angle here. Nice. Just wants to poke, make people nice and low. Good job. Nice headshots, man. Delana has really good aim. Seriously. I know they're standing still Loki clones, but it's harder to do than you would think. Nectar pushing forward, and I like how Ryan Amazing is supporting him, right? Gives him a little bit of splash damage. Threatens the idea of a reset. Delana has to leave. Terra in this front line. Here he goes. He goes up and goes for a Loki clone. Trying to find his reset. There we go. Gets it. So he has the reset. Oh! But Techie is able to lock him in. Terra has to use his ultimate to try and escape from the fight. And he does get out of it, but now he has no reset potential. Ryan Amazing goes up for a point-blank shot and goes for it. Delana was already picked off. Groot ultimate to counter the Groot ultimate. And now all of Sentinels are locked into a choke. But luckily for them, heals are coming in from SJP. 100 Thieves are able to stay alive, but they're deciding to retreat. 22 seconds left. Terra trying to find a reset. Goes for the Loki clones. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. And this man, he just farms ultimate so quickly on the Punisher. Or excuse me, on Bucky. I want to go look at the replay and see how quick he farmed that. Get the squirrel! Listen, I think ADHD, and I can't focus on the game when they put the squirrel on my screen. I need them to stop that, please. If anyone ever watches my broadcast, please stop doing that. I can focus on everything else except for the squirrel. We're in the best of 7 finals of the grand finals, bro. Let me cast. Sentinel setting up for defense right away. Starts to play the side. Amazing has an ultimate, so does Nectar. DPSs could certainly shut down this push. TTK getting low on HP. There goes Bucky, straight into it. Yes, there's one. Potentially a second. There's two. Trying to find an angle, nobody available to them. They all back up. Smart. Smart by 100 Thieves. They don't want to waste any time. Oh, this is hard. This is a hard push for 100 Thieves. Vinny needs to get his ultimate. 20 seconds. And Sentinels are just going to kite backwards and put damage on them. They know they're going to get overtime some way or some form. Terra, by the way, has switched off Bucky into Wolverine. He's flanking behind Amazing. I don't think Amazing sees it. I don't think he knows. Does he know? Does he know? Amazing keeping up the lasers. Has an ultimate. Goes for the shot on Hela. Trying to clear it out of the sky. Hela actually gets deleted there. I had no idea. Groot comes up with an ultimate. Terra has the ultimate as well. Terra goes for it. It's one pick currently. But Harvey was able to pop an ultimate at the same time, keeping everyone from 100 Thieves alive. Sentinels continuing to keep up the aggression. TTK stepping up with the ultimate. They need to get around this corner. There they go. But Sentinels know they have space. Here comes Bucky. There's a reset. There's one. There's two. There's three. Nectar is clutching it up for his team. Can he find another? Trying to. They push him back, and 100 Thieves gets 2 points on the scoreboard, and Sentinels, all they have to do is get 2 points and get past that goal, and they win. They will win this tournament. $70,000 and be the #1 seed of America. But can they do it?
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
I thought for sure the Wolverine transition was going to be money for 100 Thieves. I don't know who caught him, but whoever caught him played that incredibly well. Because Amazing was just sitting there, just Iron Manning it through walls, setting up his ultimate. And if Terra comes in and puts him on the ground, that could have been GG. But they handle it well. In terms of aggressive composition, Sentinels need to be up in their face. Amazing is currently hovering magic. Everyone's getting their armor built up.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Is he gonna stay on it?
I know. How do we keep ending up in these?
Is he gonna stay on the magic? If he is, we need to be watching his point of view. Imagine winning game number 7 and putting it all on magic, dude.
The battle
Imagine being that bold.
4,
I think they're gonna keep it
2,
because he gave armor to everybody. He switches to Iron Man. It was a fake out. Sieging away. You see how he's trying to put damage on Hela? He just wants Hela to fly away, right? So he can step up and do this. Start dropping his laser. Clear out the Groot walls. Iron Man, whenever he goes into laser mode, has consistent damage and pretty good against Groot. Ooh, they find a pick on Vinny. Vinny is now down. Amazing grabbing this corner here. Love it. Great jiggle peeking. Look at the verticality. Sieging away. Clearing out every barrier coming up. Amazing close to an ultimate. Portal comes in for Vinny. I think it's behind them, actually. It is behind them. Terra about to have an ultimate. Already farmed up, but so does Amazing. Maximum Pulse comes out. Where was it? On the backside, iframe comes out. Harvey went to Cloak and Dagger. Nice job. Terra finds a reset. Taking shots here. Has a second before he can pop it. Goes in, finds another. Groot wall comes out, locking down Groot. And it's a Bucky off right now. Who will reign supreme? And right now it's Nectar. Finding the headshot. Moving in for Cloak and Dagger, who's going to iframe it up. Trying to find the kill. He needs one more shot. He gets it. No reset though, just barely off by a second. But it's okay. Able to grab the point here. 100 Thieves trying to play defense, but they're falling like flies. With the respawn though. Techie coming forward thanks to Dr. Strange grabbing the portal. Delana on the backside going up in the sky. Techie just runs right towards him. Oh, nice shots though. Taking out Iron Man. Techie did find a kill though. And Sentinels, are they gonna get this? They're a meter off, dude. They are having a hard time. 2 minutes on the clock, so no panic, but it's starting to get a little concerning how they can't finish. Ultimate comes out. Iframe comes in from Cloak and Dagger. Wall comes out. Crimzo tries to get a CC on them. Can't quite hit it. Ooh, but a nice Groot grenade. Pushes out the supports, and the supports go down. Okay, that should be it. They have to deal with Vinny, obviously, but he goes down. 3 minutes, 50 seconds. Tournament lives on the line. Rising scouts ahead. Getting the intel that Iron Man is known for. Let's try and get some slash damage on them, trying to build up his ultimate. Wants to make it hard for him to come to this choke, right? They don't know how close he is to another ultimate. Speaking of one, Terra has one, so does Harvey. Harvey can lead the charge here. And he might. Good shots by Nectar. TTK backing up, stuck by a wall. There goes Harvey, keeping him alive. Terra goes forward, and Iron Man deletes him immediately. They were ready for it. Nectar has an ultimate, but doesn't even have to use it yet. They know Terra is down. All they have to do is keep an eye on Hela, and they're fine. Terra has decided to go over to Iron Fist. He's going to try and hunt down Rising here. Now, in favor of Iron Man, he does have a pretty good boost and might be able to get away from Iron Fist, but we'll see. Terra popping his heals, wants to move in and try and get his parry procced. And once he do it, he can go straight for Iron Man. Damage at the front, he jumps up, dashes away. Luna Snow has the ultimate. Terra trying to get a height advantage here. Vinny pops the Avengers ultimate and runs straight to the back line. Keeping his teammates alive, watching out for Emma Frost. Handles it quite well. Emma Frost drops the ultimate here for Techie, and they're pushing them back into a corner. There's one, there's two, and there's three. Techie with a great engagement. 100 Thieves can't hold the defense, and Iron Fist, who was actually chosen to try and deal with this Iron Man, can't get him. And Sentinels, 3 minutes of counting. They can smell the victory. Terra decides to get off of the Iron Fist and go straight into Wolverine. This is incredible. What a great series between these two. What a great showcase of what Marvel Rivals is all about. Splash damage happened. They know exactly where Terra's at. They can hear his loud, lumbering feet. Nectar is waiting for it. Hook available. They are not letting Terra come in with the flank. Constantly keeping an eye on him. They go for a combo the moment he jumps in. They lock him down with a Groot wall. Beautifully played by Crimzo. Oh my god, Crimzo. Delana did switch over to Bucky, and it's a 3-man wipe so far. Harvey's just trying to stay alive. Out comes the ultimate. Terra's left, and Sentinels are going to be your champions for Marvel Rivals Ignite Americas, winning $70,000 and getting the #1 seed for the tournament in China. Holy moly.